It's 7:30 or 7:45?
45.
Oh.
All right.
Love you blue. You know that we do. We'll always be true. 'Cause we love you blue. Yes, we love you blue. Love you blue. You know that we do. We'll always be true. 'Cause we love you blue.
Saws in hog heaven. Syracuse. Saws in hog heaven. Syracuse is your national champion. There is a new team in college basketball. Rock Chalk Championship. It's a milestone victory for Arizona. As good as it gets. Florida's the national champion. Just when people say you can't, you can. And UConn has won the national championship. And Virginia with the all-time turnaround title. The Kentucky coronation is complete. 3 seconds at midcourt. Jenkins gives it to Jenkins for the championship. Yeah! Villanova! Phenomenal!
So, from one storyteller to another, on behalf of all your friends, thank you, Jim, for a lifetime of moments and memories.
You expect me to talk after that?
All right, folks. Thank you, Jim Nance, for your kind being part of the our fabric of March Madness for good 30 plus years on CBS. Who he took over for Brent Musburger back in the middle of the late 80s, early 90s. So he's been rolling in, but now he's off to the Masters, so you won't miss him a beat this week. He'll be at the Masters starting Thursday. So folks, welcome to the Sports Talk with Chris Heidel here on a beautiful Tuesday night, and we got a great show lined up for you shortly. In 3 minutes, hopefully, coach from the Houston Rough Riders, and he used to be the head coach of the Bills, Cowboys, Texans, you name it. He did it. He did everybody's team pretty much. He was a Rams defensive coordinator. Wade Phillips will be joining us shortly here on the program. His Rough Riders are in the XFL. And they are actually this weekend. They are going to be on the road. Let me see. Let me pull this up here on. I thought I had this here. They'll be playing this weekend. So he'll be joining us right now. So let me. So Matt and let me just get him on here. Hello, everybody. This is Chris Heidel. This is Coach Phillips.
Hi, Chris. I've got Wade on the other line. Just give me 1 second.
Okay. That's okay. Cool.
Perfect.
Cool. That's Brittany Ryder. She's the information director for the Houston Rough Riders, folks. So if you want to know.
Okay, I've got Coach Wade on the line, Chris.
All right.
You're ready?
We're ready. Hi, Coach Phillips. How you doing?
I'm doing well, thanks.
Thank you so much for coming on tonight. I know you're a busy guy with the Rough Riders, and how are you guys doing this year? It seems like you guys are middle of the pack, but doing pretty well.
Well, we're in first place. Yeah, that's not the middle, but yeah, we're in first place in our division, so we're doing well.
Nice. So just talk about your for folks who are just brand new to the XFL. These kids are from the NFL who didn't play in the NFL, but now they're trying to get back into the NFL. And you took over Houston. So how's the relationship with all these kids?
Oh, it's really great. They really work hard. They listen to coaches. They're very attentive. They're very focused. They want to try to. Their goal is to play in the NFL, and so we're trying to help them get there.
Yeah. So this week you guys are going to San Antonio, right? You're on the road.
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah. So you're going to be playing in that beautiful dome down there, and you were once a Cowboys coach, so you were down there. That was training camp for a couple of years, right?
It sure was. Yeah, we had in the stadium, in the dome down there, we had training camp. So yeah, I'm familiar with it.
That's cool. Adam, you got a question for Coach?
Yeah. First of all, it's an honor to talk with you, Coach. I have followed your career in the NFL. What was it like to be the coach of the Buffalo Bills when you played in that hostile environment that we all know as Rich Stadium?
Yeah, that was a great time. We had I coached there 6 years, and we went to playoffs, I think 4 or 5 of those years, and so it was a good time. They got great fans, hardy fans. We know it gets cold there, but they come out and support their team. It was, I really enjoyed it there.
That's cool. Yeah, Coach, I just got to ask you a question. I was talking to Brittany, your great information director there for the Rough Riders, and she was like, what do you want to talk to Wade about? I'm like, well, Coach Phillips. I'm like, well, I'd like to talk about the XFL and his days in the NFL, but I'd really like to talk about your father, Bubba Phillips. What did you learn from your dad? Because I feel like when I was growing up watching a lot of football, because I'm like this old school guy, you learned a lot from him. What did you learn from your dad? Because your dad basically was this big figure on the sidelines in Houston, and we played the song "I Love You Blue" at the beginning of the show.
Yeah, I learned everything from him. Basically, he was my coach in high school. He coached me in college. I worked with him for 10 years in the NFL. So, and I actually coached with him in college too. So, he influenced everything. I know in football, we were the first team in the NFL to run 3-4 defense, and we had a lot of success with it.
That's cool. That's awesome. Hey, Matt, you got a question for Coach Phillips?
Yes. With the time that you had with the different coaching experiences, you were with Dallas, and in 2007, 2009, you finished first in the NFC East. So, what would you use from your NFL days, and how will you incorporate that into your XFL coaching career?
Yeah, well, I was 42 years in the NFL, so got quite a bit of experience. Almost all of that was in the 3-4 defense. So, some people call it the 3-4, the Phillips 3-4. So, I'm very familiar with that. I have a lot of experience coaching that, so that's what we're running defensively. And then, I've seen a lot of different offenses and tried to come up with an offense that I think could move the ball really well. And so we chose the air raid offense, and that's been successful for us too. So we put all that together. Experience goes a long ways. I've been a head coach for a long time. I've been a coordinator for a long time in the NFL, and I'm having the time of my life now being the head coach of the XFL Houston Roughnecks.
That's cool. That's awesome. And you're back in Houston. You're playing your games at University of Houston, and you're an alumni of University of Houston. So this must have been like a full circle for you. Like, hey, I didn't play at the stadium, but I played it on his campus. And what's the difference between when you were there back in the late '60s and to now?
Well, everything changed since the late '60s, but yeah, we're enjoying Houston. I mean, I live in Houston. I coach for the Houston Oilers. I coach for the Houston Texans, and now I'm coaching for the Houston Roughnecks. So that's all the professional football that's ever been in Houston. So, I'm really enjoying that. It's home for me. They gave me the league gave me the opportunity to coach in Houston, and I jumped right at it.
That's cool. That's great. Question: let's just preview this weekend's game against San Antonio. You're going out there on the road. How good is this team in this that plays in the Dome? And what do you guys got to do to walk away with a win?
Well, we played them once. We played in Houston. We did beat them in Houston. So,
okay.
And we're 4-0 in our division. So it's a big game for us, a division game, and. Actually, I think will get us in the playoffs if we win this game. So we've got a lot to play for. But Hines Ward, is coaching that team, and I'm very familiar with him after being with the Oilers and all of the teams I've been with. Always played the Steelers, and he was such a great player. And now he's coaching and really doing a good job there.
Yeah, and plus, just talk about this league. It's great to have all these former NFL coaches like yourself, players. That you have in Vegas. You have Rod Woodson, who spent some time here in Baltimore. He's doing a lot of stuff here with the broadcast here. Yourself, Hines Ward, Buckley, who's down in Orlando.
Right.
Former. What is it like having these great players and great coaches like yourself helping out promoting this brand new league?
Well, I mean, that's part of. Hopefully, that's why they chose us, that we could help these players get better. And that's what coaching is. So, I think the league overall is just a great opportunity for people, for players, and a lot of them are taking advantage of that. I think we've got several players on our team. I think will be on the NFL roster this next fall.
That's cool. Yeah, I was looking at your roster here. You got some people from. You got your quarterbacks. You carry 3 quarterbacks, so that's basically just that's the normal standard when you see in the NFL. But some of them are like you said, you're trying to get back to be on an NFL roster. And we covered the CAA around here. Dejon Lee, who is a running back from Delaware. How good is he on the team, and how what is he doing to help you guys get that big win?
Yeah, he's short in stature, but he's really strong and really fast. He's done a really good job for us. I'm pretty sure he's the leading kickoff returner in the league, average-wise, so far this season. So he does a great job of that too. But he's a really fine young man, and I'm really blessed to be able to coach him.
That's cool. Well, Coach, let me let you go because I know you're a busy guy. Because I know you have to get coaches this time of year. Got to get ready for your big game over the weekend and all that stuff. So thank you so much for taking some time tonight. It was a real honor to talk to you, and keep up the good work in Houston. And hopefully, don't be a stranger. Come on back.
All right. Well, thanks. I appreciate you calling.
All right. Thank you so much. All right, folks. That's little Wade Phillips from the days in the NFL, but he's with the Roughnecks of Houston on the XFL, and they'll be playing this weekend against the San Antonio. I think it's the Rocks team. I guess it's like yeah. I can't pronounce the name. It's like what I don't know how to say it, but it's So anyway, very good to talk to him.
It's called. Thanks to Brittany from the
Roughnecks
to help set up that interview. It's called. When I heard you were having him on, Chris, I was like, wow, I remember when he was coaching the NFL and all this stuff. And I was like,
yeah.
Well, one of the coolest people I've got a chance to talk to on here. So thanks.
Yeah, I got the phone call this morning, and on the way back over to when I had to go get some errands, and the lady's on the phone. I'm like, I see Texas coming on my caller ID. I'm like, I don't know anybody in Texas. You know, I'm like thinking it's like a prank call or, or, one of those scammers, like, hi, you want to buy something? And like, and I picked up the phone. I go, hi, this is Chris. And she's like, oh, this is Brittany Ryder from the Roughnecks. I'm like, oh, and I'm thinking to myself, yeah, he's not coming on tonight. And all of a sudden I thought I heard, like, do you want him next week? But she goes, oh, he's available tonight for 10 minutes over the phone. I'm like, excuse me? I'm like, okay.
Well, hey, Chris Ab, you never heard of this saying, all your exes are in Texas? Well, that's who was calling, Chris.
Oh, yep. I know the
Chris,
song
come on.
back in my hand.
Chris, come on. Your ex was calling from Texas.
Oh, that's a good one.
I guess we'll start playing that George Strait song, Oh,
yes.
In Texas. Yeah. Yeah, I would love to get down to Houston one day because it seems like a good
me
place.
too. Go take out NASA down there and go see the old Astrodome.
Oh yeah,
where the Oilers used to play and the Astros and the University of Houston played their football games. I mean, that'd be cool.
Yeah, it is pretty cool. Last night the NCAA basketball was done for the year. With UConn beating San Diego State in the final game. It was a close game. 5 minutes. 1 point. San Diego State had it down to 5. But I guess when you were down by 13 or 14 at the half, it's a little hard to come back when you're not shooting real well.
I give a lot of credit, to Coach Hurley. He, for those of you who don't know, he has legendary siblings, including his father, who has a lot of experience as a head coach. So he's learned a lot over the years.
Well, let's bring in this gentleman, our good friend for the program, who we see him every year during the college basketball season. Reason why we got him on because he won some award and he is the nicest guy in the world. So I guess he won the
he is. Oh, we love having him on the show.
Award. So let's bring in Towson men's basketball coach Pat Skerry joining us on the program. Hey, Coach Pat, how you doing? And congratulations on winning the nice guy. We already know you're a nice guy, so we put that we whipped a lot of stuff in the ballot box for you. Yeah.
I listen, you must have the wrong guest on. Am I supposed to be on later? You must have the wrong guy.
No, Coach, no.
I appreciate you guys having me on, and
yes, sir.
It's always a pleasure to join you guys. I hope all is well.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, it is.
Just talk about that award. When did you find out that you won an award during the NCAA Final Four weekend? You're like,
no, you know what? There's a great website. They do a lot of great work, especially for mid-major basketball called collegeinsider.com, and Angela Lento and Joe Dwyer, Brian Mull, Jamie Keshmarek. There's obviously people that I've known for a while. They obviously nominated me and gave it to me, and I'm very thankful, humble. I'm not sure I'm deserving, but I appreciate the big thing with them, and you guys have helped with this is I think they really want to try to help elevate our autism awareness campaign and how to grow it within basketball and make it better. And hopefully this is a way to do that. So I appreciate them doing that. And like I told you guys when we probably visited, 4 or 5 weeks ago, we got to figure out how to improve it. I don't have those answers yet, but hopefully the more people we get involved with it and some creative minds can help us do that.
Yeah. Well, I applaud Adam because he's on autism and he does a great job trying
Tremendous.
to talk to coaches. And the other 2 weeks ago he wanted to talk to one of the coaches on Zoom from the NCAA tournament, and I'm like, all right, go ahead, dude, you can do it. It's not that hard to get on. And what do you tell me? You got nervous, and you're like,
I got nervous. I got nervous.
And like, it's okay.
Who did you interview?
I wanted to interview Don Staley from the University of South Carolina. But I was like, I had questions, but I was just a little nervous, so I was like, I'll let Chris and Matt handle it.
Let me handle it.
Well, hey, listen, to make the shot, somebody's going to deliver the pass. So you deliver the pass. That's just as important.
Thank you.
Exactly. So let's talk about this month. April is National Autistic Awareness Month. And Adam, right now I got gray on the white, gray because of Parkinson's Awareness Month because I have a cousin that has Parkinson's and all that stuff. So just talk about this awareness. I know you have a a son who has it, right? And just talk about the daily struggles, Pat, what you have to go through to keep him. He's happy every time, right?
Well, I don't think anyone is happy all the time, right? That's and anybody that's on the spectrum, obviously, everyone's different that's on the spectrum, and there's certainly a lot of common characteristics of anyone that's not on the spectrum and on the spectrum as far as different emotions. For our son Owen, who's 14, where we've really been fortunate is that we've got really great services and schools down here in Maryland. When we started the awareness campaign, it was really because autism is the world's largest developmental disorder, and the amount of money it can cost a family is really expensive. So, just wanted to try to use basketball as a platform to bring that awareness. At home here, I'll tell you, my wife, Kristen, is double head coach. She's the rock star. She's an unbelievable mom and does a great job with Owen. But for us, a big thing is obviously routine. And for him to know what's coming next. He's very chill, smiley, happy when all those things are in place. Like a lot of people, autistic or not, he struggles with changes in routine, and that's just something as a life skill that we'd like to see him be able to cope with better.
Yeah, you're saying we have great services here. I got to say thank you to the folks at Kennedy Krieger. Yeah, they do a great job down there in the city. And I know my girlfriend's going through right now trying to find out what she's going through with her genetics and all that stuff. But it's a great place. And I walked in there with her for the appointment, and it was like, wow, this place is nice. It's like a nice hospital, and you can't. It's right next to Johns Hopkins. Great.
Well, we have such great services in hospitals here. Kennedy Krieger is outstanding. We were with them for quite a while when we first got to the area. Rebecca Landa is a Towson grad, and there's a lot of pathfinders for autism. BJ and Paulie Surhoff do a great job. The Trellis School where my son goes to school, and there are numerous Schaefer School. There's numerous other places here that it's really a great community, and we like to tell people we serve two teams, our autism team and our team here at Towson, and we're proud to be a part of both of them.
Yeah, and plus now you're trying to expand it. I think it's already expanded, right? Like a lot of teams have been doing a lot of autistic awareness, games, right? Or they're still
they have. We got the Women's Basketball Coaches Association involved. I think the big thing now is, in my mind, is how can we get maybe an early season game, non-conference game, doubleheader. Obviously, I'd love to be a part of it as Towson, but we don't need to be a part of it. Can you get maybe, Georgetown's got a great new coach in Eddie Cooley, or Maryland's got a great new coach, Kevin Willard. Could we get one of those teams to be in a feature game, get television involved, and raise some awareness and some money? Then that's where I need help from the media and sponsors. And I think some of these coaches, like, we mentioned a couple of great coaches, if they would do something like that, if we could get television involved and behind the game.
Yeah, I think that'd be a great, cool non-conference to have. And like Towson doesn't have to play it. Like it would be like Georgetown taking on, say Duke or something like that, or somebody to bring, and bring awareness. And plus, during the broadcast, you have something that so the folks who have autism could watch the game, and you can teach the people in the public what to do.
Exactly. Yep. Exactly.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Well,
I'll mention, when I lived in New Hampshire, I was considered to be a special needs kid, and I had help from a really good lady. Her name was Debbie Doe, and she actually worked in the Newfound Area School District with kids with disabilities. So she would help me with my motor skills. They helped me to learn how to write because the teachers couldn't read my writing. They helped me learn how to tie my shoes. They helped me a lot. And, I was diagnosed at a young age before people really knew what autism really was. I went to a place called Early Intervention in Concord, New Hampshire. And I had braces on my legs, and they actually helped me learn to walk a lot better. And, so I'm very thankful. So, I appreciate what you're doing, Coach, and for your son, I'll always support you guys. It's always a pleasure to talk to you guys. So,
well, I'm proud of you and what you've done. You've done a great
thank
job.
you, thank you. That means a lot
But
to me.
I think you also touched on, we don't do a whole lot with coaches, so I don't want to take too much credit for. You mentioned that the teachers and the aides and the healthcare providers, they're the
was a
real,
very good teacher's aide. Yeah.
they're the real champions in this. And
Yes, they are. Yeah.
much like yourself, I'm really appreciative of them.
Thank you. Thank you. That means a lot.
Yeah.
Coming to me, Coach. Thank
Hey,
you.
I'm proud about him every day. I just met him. I met him a year ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
When I first met you, I'm like, okay, he has autism. Okay. And I'm learning a lot about you, because I'm thinking, like, you go to these bowling tournaments and I'm like, the loud noises sometimes do affect.
Yeah. I mean, I've gone to NASCAR races, and it's like, the loud noises, it's called, they don't hurt me at all. I mean, I used to wear headphones, but now I don't. And it's like, because I'm used to loud noises, it's called, it doesn't bother me whatsoever.
Yeah, Adam's done a great job, because I mean, I've seen him interact with individuals that were interviewing on here on the radio station stuff and everything on the show, and yeah, Adam has really progressed and really done really great since the first day that I got on and everything. And I haven't known Adam that long, so he has definitely gone ahead and definitely done a fantastic job.
Thank you, Matt. That means a lot.
Good stuff.
Yep, you're welcome. You're welcome.
Oh, Coach Pat, you have another son who plays for Delaney High School, right? So how's it hard for you, being a coach, every day watching your son play basketball, know that you could actually, like, you're sitting there going, I can't do anything. There's another coach. I can't do it. What do you do as a father to sit there and just like, all right, son, go ahead, play?
Well, I'm proud of how hard he's worked and how much better he's gotten. I don't get involved with who they're playing, what they're running, how they do things. Now, if I was asked, I would, but I don't. I leave that alone out of respect for the coach that's doing that. And once again, like I said, I have a lot of coaches. I always tell people, I mean, arguably the best coach in the area, maybe as good in the history of the area, is Pat Clatchy at Mount St. Joe's. He's a very good friend, and we bounce ideas off each other a lot, especially when I go to one of his practices or games, and he does the same here. And I always want his feedback. But if I'm not asked for feedback, I'm not going to provide it.
Right, that's true. So what is Coach Pat doing for the rest of the spring, summer? What do you have lined up?
We're busy, man. We're recruiting. We got to add a couple spots, and most importantly, we've got 8 guys back that we're really excited about. So we're full steam ahead with getting those guys better, their bodies, their skill work, their game. That's what we got to do.
Yeah, maybe one day you could get a birthday win for me. Finally, I was waiting for a birthday win on March 6th. Like, come on, I need a win. Yeah,
you got it. You know what? I forgot about that. Mark it down. I'll take care of it next year. You got my word.
Cool.
Hey, you got a question? Because Dad was down there, and he was trying to ask you a question down there. So, Matt, do you have a question for Pat? Because I know you were there for the that game.
Oh yes, Coach. So how can we make more of the people in this country aware of autism and what it's about? So what are some different things? I know you probably mentioned on a couple already. What are some other ways and strategies and techniques so we can make more of the people aware?
Yeah, and
also educate them.
We need some help with that. I think for us, it's if we could, have a big game on television, that's going to give you a platform to provide materials on awareness and education. But I'm open to some other ideas as well. That's where I need your expertise.
Yeah, we'll work together. How about this? All 4 of us will work together with you, Coach, and we'll see what we can do. And
sounds great.
Yeah, we'll put our minds together, because I know I have, sometimes I have some great ideas late at night sometimes, and I can't sleep, so I pop up and I'm like, oh, okay, I could do that. We'll
sounds like a plan, fellas.
Yeah,
cool.
All right, Coach. Well, thank you so much for coming on. You're a good friend of ours, and keep up the good work, and we'll talk to you soon. Okay, we'll keep in touch.
All right, take care, guys.
Yes, sir.
Take care.
That's it. All right, that's Coach Pat Skerry. I do have a video courtesy our production team. Just brought us into me from the production studio area of our Herb FM Sports Radio. A little video about autism. So here it is, a little video. So let me log you guys off, and you can enjoy it. Okay, hold on.
Reasons why the autism community doesn't use the puzzle piece anymore. My name is Brittany D'Angelo, and when I was 22 months old, I was diagnosed with autism. April is Autism Acceptance Month, and throughout this month, I'll be answering all of your questions. This was a very frequently asked one, so let's get into it. The puzzle piece has most notably been used by an organization called Autism Speaks. Historically, has put an emphasis on curing autism, major lack of autistic representation in the leadership. The puzzle piece has come to mean a plethora of different things, including those with autism are a puzzle that needs to be solved, a problem that needs to be figured out, a mystery, having something missing, something the world doesn't understand, incomplete, need to be put back together, need fixing, not capable of making our own decisions without someone to help put us back together or assist us. The puzzle piece depicts those in the autism community as helpless or weak, and we are just the opposite. We are capable of anything we set our minds to, just like anyone else, and we prove that every single day.
That's true. That is definitely true.
Yeah.
And actually,
Well,
guys, I'll share I'll share some information with you. If you think I'm the only PBA Tour super fan, no. There's a lady named Kristen Anderson, and she lives in Delaware. And actually last year I met her in person for the first time.
Oh wow.
With the PBA League, and she's also autistic. So it's so I understand what she's going through. So she loves the PBA Tour just as much as me. Her favorite bowlers are Kyle Sherman and Brad Miller. When the PBA Tour goes to Delaware for the doubles tournament, she's participating in the Pro-Am, and
that's cool.
And she really wants to bowl with Brad and Kyle. She's met Brad, but she's never met Kyle. So it's like, I'll see her when I go to Portland, Maine in September. She's a very nice person, and maybe I'll try to convince her to come on the show one night, and how she got involved, about her awareness with autism and how she got started in the sport of bowling, because she's a really cool lady.
That's cool. Well, how about this, Adam? My I don't want to give you tasks, but a job for you. How about we get her on next week?
I will talk to her. I'll send her a message tomorrow, and I will see if she wants to come on.
Yeah, because I think that'll be cool to talk to, because I think this is Autism Awareness Month, and we're trying to promote, autism and what you do, and what she does, and and if we see anybody else we know,
talk to her tomorrow.
Yeah, talk to her tomorrow. See if she's available next.
I will, and I will say what Coach Pat is doing is really cool. So
yeah, we'll work with him. We'll figure it. We'll try to figure out something with him.
Yeah.
Maybe
we should, because if we can get that on like a national stage, not like and it's televised. I mean, because see, here's the thing,
right?
And I know we're live on this, but people just need to be more sensitive, more caring, and loving, and just kind and generous. People have all kinds of different. No one is perfect, okay? And the thing is that each and every person has some kind of flaw with them, okay? Every person does, okay?
Right.
So the thing is, you need to just accept people for who they are, and just go ahead and I'm not saying you gotta be best buds with them, but just treat them with respect that they deserve. Because I know when I was a former educator, unfortunately, I saw different populations being treated differently, and then I took action on that. Okay, and when I say action, okay, I went ahead, I referred them to the office and wrote referrals, because you should not be treating people differently and doing things because they're different. And so I stood up for individuals, okay, and so that's just not right. Now, what the assistant principals did on their behalf, well, that's up to them. But I know I did my behalf, staying up for the individuals. And so, because maybe they couldn't stand for themselves. Maybe whatever. But I understood what they were going through and everything. Me as an educator and teacher, I felt like that was my responsibility to go ahead and to take action when I saw other students treating other individuals differently. And it doesn't matter if you have autism or if you have an IEP or if whatever the case is. If you treat someone differently and if you're doing it in a derogatory, negative way, okay, I would go ahead and there would be some kind of consequence in my classroom.
That's good.
Thank you.
But man, and I totally agree with you.
Well, yeah, you're welcome.
And Adam, I have never spent time with you in public. And we've been on video for months. And I feel like you've been a friend of, a family friend to me.
Thank you. Thank you. That means a lot.
Yeah.
I'm proud of you. And
hopefully
everything.
you got. Hopefully you guys can go up to.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Hopefully you guys can go up to Portland, Maine in September. So we all can meet in person this year.
We'll do what we can. Matt and I will figure this out. We'll figure it out.
But it's
if we have to drive 24 hours in the car to get to Portland, we'll do it.
Yeah. Or hey Adam, do you have tickets to the Masters by any chance?
No.
But
all right, let's bring in. Speaking of Portland, Maine, and all that stuff. This guy is still part of Adam's territory. So Adam,
New Hampshire.
So go ahead, buddy. It's your turn.
It's called. Spring practice is here in college football, and our next guest his team has their annual spring game next Friday night in beautiful Durham, New Hampshire. So to preview the annual blue-white game and everything associated with spring football, let's bring in our next guest, the head coach at the University of New Hampshire Wildcats, Coach Rick Santos. So, Coach, first of all, what's the weather like in Durham? And tell us about some of the freshmen on your team that we need to be looking out for during the season.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate you having me back on.
Yeah, it's spring football. I'm like, oh my God, we just got done with basketball and now spring football.
Never ends for you guys. I mean, always things to talk about.
I know I'm looking at the schedule, like it's going to be July, and hopefully we'll have media day, and here in Baltimore we could meet in person for the first time.
Exactly. No, that'd be amazing. That'd be amazing. No, it's going well. We're a little over halfway through right now. It's cold up here. We're going 6 a.m. practices Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Wow.
One of the weeks we went Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, where we had a rising senior, a junior day that most teams call it, which was great. We had like 160 prospects up in their family, so that was a big day. But no, spring ball has been competitive. It's combative. The guys are flying around. I think we got elite attention to detail right now. I love how competitive it is. I love the senior leadership on our team right now. We got 17 and 22 starters coming back. So a lot of guys that have played some meaningful football that are stepping up, doing the right things. But, as you mentioned, the question was kind of about some of the younger guys, some of the freshmen. There's definitely some guys in this past incoming class that have stepped up. One guy in particular, DJ Lincoln, is somebody who played as a true freshman for us. He's a receiver from St. John's College just outside D.C., doing a tremendous job, getting beaten press. He's a vertical threat, 6'3" body that can go flat out, go get it and play above the rim. So he's doing a great job. Miles Tomlinson is doing a really good job, a freshman running back from Seton Hall Prep in Jersey. He's somebody where, we've moved Dylan Lobby around a little bit just to kind of bolster his profile a bit. So playing a little slot, doing different things with him. So we're giving some more carries to Miles to kind of get him integrated into the system. Get him caught up to speed. So he's doing a phenomenal job. And then a couple other guys that I think will make some noise next year is Barry Kleinpeter. He's our freshman quarterback from Savannah Country Day in Georgia. It's a smaller school down there, but obviously he was behind Max Brosmer all year, so he didn't play much. He got in 2 games. He had one big 40-yard touchdown run, but he's a dual threat. He can go, runs low 4.6s. He's that prototypical spread quarterback. So he's pushing Max and making sure Max is, his best every day. And then, the other guy I think was doing a really good job for us. Kyle Lepkowski's our starting tight end for the last 3 years. He's out with a shoulder injury. He had to get surgery. So Colby Ramshaw is a freshman tight end from Londonderry, New Hampshire, that stepped up big time for us. He's practicing well. He's put on 25 pounds into season. So he's got the frame for it. And we just need to get him a little bigger and stronger. He really dedicated himself in the weight room. So yeah, no, it's going well right now.
Cool.
Yeah. Talk about the transfer portal. How's everything going with that? Because I know everybody just, like today, I think everybody, I think basketball, you can start moving to different places now. Yeah. So how's the transfer portal now?
It opened back up April 1st. So, kind of flooded with a new wave of guys in there. So we took 2 transfers in the first wave. One of them enrolled mid-year, Logan Tomlinson. He's D2, D3 All-American. He played at Wesleyan. So he went there as a quarterback, moved after his sophomore year, then COVID hit. Then his last 2 years, he was playing receiver, back-to-back, 70 catch seasons, over 1,000 yards. Did a tremendous job. So he's a really, really good athlete, strong at the reception point. He's right now coming in already vying to be our starting boundary receiver. So he's impressed us that much right out the gate. And then the next one is Mason Pline, who is coming from Ferris State. So he was a dual sport athlete out there, big tight end. He's like 6'6", 250. Ferris is mainly a running team. I think they only throw it 8 to 10 times a game. So we brought him in more for like his inline blocking ability to complement Kyle Lepkowski. But then you turn on his basketball tape, he's catching alley-oops, he's drop-stepping on people, he's fluid in the lane. So I think he's got the makeup to be an NFL-type tight end with his body. So, it's hard to go get those FBS guys. They're so sought after. So we kind of we went the other route to get some guys from lower divisions that were hungry, that felt like they were Division I guys to come up. So far, so good. It's been great. And then we got a couple scholarships left over that we're doing some official visits that I can't quite comment on the guys right now. They're not signed, but we're looking to do that in the next few weeks as well.
That's cool. I was just looking at the roster. Yes, and I wore in the Montreal Expo jersey tonight. So you got some kids from Quebec. So how's their English? That's the first question. Or because it's different languages, French and English.
It's okay. Yeah. They know a decent amount. Joey Corcoran's the one guy. He's from Montreal, but he went to St. Paul School. Prepped in New Hampshire. So he's somebody who did a really good job for us last year as our leading receiver. He's physical. He put on 10 pounds. So he's somebody that has really been selfless for us. We've moved him around. He's playing a little bit more to the field because Logan, the guy that I mentioned, the transfer came in, and he's playing a little more X. But those guys are right now they're interchangeable, so they're doing well there. And then Josh Filion, as they say it up there, is another true freshman. He's doing a great job. He's backing up Caleb Burke right now, who's a young guy I think is going to make some strides and has to step up for us big time with Sean Coyne graduating. But Josh has really turned some heads so far this spring practice. He's one of our leading receivers, great route runner, really good hands. He understands the nuances of, how to get in and out of breaks, where the soft spots and the coverage are and all that stuff. So, our 2 Canadian guys right now, 2 French Canadian guys are stepping up huge.
I was reading something today, Coach, about Canadian football is like dying up there for college. Why is it dying up there? Because I thought we have it's good down here in the lower 48. I thought up there with the CFL and all that stuff. There's one school just quit their program.
Simon Fraser, right? I read that today. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I just think it's so hard right now. Where
we played in the CFL, so you should know about it.
Yeah. No, and I don't think it's just Canada. I think, there's D2 and D3 schools shutting down their football program all over the States too. And I think it's just kind of the money's flowing upward. And I think it's even exacerbates the problem with the transfer portal. And, there's a glutton of riches at certain big schools, and that makes me nervous for our level of football, even in the next 5 or 10 years, kind of where that's going to be as well. So it's unfortunate that it's going that way. And I don't really know exactly what the root cause is.
Yeah. Let's go with Matt. Matt, you got a question for Coach?
Yes. I see that you had 9-4 season last year. So, and you guys made the playoffs and everything. So what are some things that you guys have to do, even though you still had a fantastic season? What are some things you guys have to do to even do better and improve next season?
Yeah, that's a great question. Well, I think for us that, always look back on the games where you didn't win and what things you need to do to correct. And, obviously the heartbreaking one was that last one against Holy Cross. And I think our guys, I think the moment was a little too big for them. I think we got too excited. We were a little bit undisciplined. And, we worked too hard to kind of be the aggressor instead of like staying in the moment and being focused. So I think for us, it's pulling from those past experiences, hopefully be more disciplined in those big moments, in those game defining and season defining moments. So I think that would be huge. Just the fact that our guys have that game experience. And then on the football field, things we need to do, schematically and fundamentally, defensively, we got to create more turnovers. There's been times over the last 20 years where we've led the nation and been top 5 in the nation in defensive touchdowns and turnover margin, all those things. We simply didn't create enough this year. And then on offense, we got to do a little bit better job, on third down, being efficient there. And then our red zone efficiency was okay, but probably settled for too many field goals. So definitely working on some new red zone concepts on offense. Really ramping up the turnover circuits and some different fundamental stuff on defense that we can harp on those changes. And then again, hopefully just those guys being in those big moments that they feel a lot more comfortable next year when the game's on the line.
Yeah. So next, so you got your spring game coming up soon. What do you guys do during the spring game? It's like the weird point value system. It's like I went to the Towson one a couple years ago. It was like 5 points for a ball at the 20-yard line, 10 points for this and that, maybe 10 points.
Every team has their little nuances, and it's quirky, and it's different. And we've done that before. We've done a bunch of different things. We've done full drafts where the coaches draft the teams. You get the captains involved in it, the seniors. We've just gone starters against, the 1-0 and the 2D are on a team, and then vice versa, and switch it. This year, to be honest, it's probably going to be more of a glorified practice. And the reason I say that is because we have so many guys returning. We don't plan to go live with any of our starters all camp. We have guys that have started for 2, 3, some of them 4 years now. Really, we just got to get those guys healthy and get them ready to go and make sure we get them to the dance. So we'll do some scrimmage and some live stuff with the 2s and 3s, the freshmen and sophomore that aren't slated to start. And then it'll be more of a thud wrap-up tempo for those guys. So it'll be a little more of a hybrid practice model where we're going to get some situational special team stuff in. We'll do, we always mix in a competitive drill every day, whether that's on special teams, offense versus defense, one-on-ones, O-line, D-line, skill versus skill, those sort of things. So we'll mix it in, make it competitive, but nothing crazy with the formats.
So
I saw on your website about the 603 challenge.
That's it. That's up and going right now.
The 603 challenge and how the viewers that are watching, how they can participate.
Yeah, go to www.unh.edu/603. It goes from started on the 2nd, goes to the 6th. Tomorrow's a big day, so it's the Granite State Numbers Challenge. So any donation with a 6, 0, and 3 in it adds $50 to it. So, I say all the young alumni and the young professionals that just graduated that haven't had a chance to make too much money yet, I think tomorrow's a really good day. If you donate $6.03, turns into $56. So that's going to be kind of, that's going to be my ploy tomorrow to get out and get some of the guys that just graduated. Brian Espinette, I've championed him as the guy that, has to get all his teammates from the last 3 or 4 years to donate $6.03. So,
I will be one of the donators tomorrow, Coach. Since I'm from New Hampshire, I will donate. I'll make sure.
I love that.
I make sure I will donate. So
I appreciate that.
We also do that too. We should donate like whatever we got. I know, me working at the, I'm still working at, another job on the side here, but I'll try to do what I can do. But what's the website so I can put it out there for people?
That's amazing, and it goes such a long way to ensure, that the current student athletes have the best possible experience. And we've been doing like these thank you videos the last couple of days where I've been thanking a lot of the donors and the consistent message is like it's our job to make sure we leave the program better than we found it. And these donations go such a long way so they can have better gear than we did and more swag and, all the cool things that we didn't have the money to do. And I know Coach Mack would have loved to do. So, yeah, no, it's exciting. It's always tough to ask for money, but I think it's a big part of the job and so humbled by the outreach so far.
Thank you.
Yeah, maybe if we could donate something, we give something, maybe I could call a play during the season, maybe.
I would love that. Let's go first play of the season against Stonehill.
When we bring out my old, not my Xbox. I don't play Xbox.
Get your Madden books from back in the day. Tech Mobile.
Yeah, I have to talk to Jimbo Fisher for a minute. Maybe go with a little shotgun. The old Florida State. Like the I formation. And
there you go.
Yeah, but with the running back on the side on the right. Like what Charlie Ward used to run. Back in the. Yeah, that's the Bobby Bowden special. That's what I like.
Yeah, he's a legend.
Oh, yes, it is, Chris. Yeah.
Yeah. So
actually, I'm on the site.
Huh? Go ahead.
Well, actually, I'm on the site right now, Coach, and yeah, there's been quite a good amount of donations already.
Yeah, right now we're battling. I mean, skiing. I give their coach staff and their alumni base so much credit. They crush it every year. They seem to be leading it, and we're just behind it. But we're doing a really good job right now. The donations flew in today, so our goal is 400 donors. Last time I checked, we were high 2, so hopefully we get it close to 3 by the end of the day, and we'll have a couple more days to get that last 100.
Okay.
You can beat skiing team. You can beat skiing team coach. It's called. We all got faith in you that you can do it.
We're working at it. I appreciate that.
Yes, sir.
So how does people go on it? It's on the it's on the University of New Hampshire website. It's under athletics, right? And then is that the link to do it, or how you do it?
Exactly. So let me get you the exact link right here. You can if you just type in 603 challenge UNH, and then it goes right to the link.
If you type in unh.edu/603, what came right up for me.
It should come right in, right? Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Cool.
Yep.
Okay. So
and it has like a minute and a half video you can watch, and it shows you the amount that's been donated plus the amount of donors that have donated, and saying 2 days remaining. And you click on Give Now, and so you just click on Give Now if you guys want to donate. And that's to everyone, the viewers and listeners out there. So go ahead, and I encourage you guys, everyone, to
your support.
donate something.
Make sure you click through it. Find the football tab.
I found it on the athletic website. So I'll make sure I'll give tomorrow.
What's the coach? I do have a question with that 603. What can there be one number? So if you donate, say, $60, does that turn into? Well, what would that turn into?
It would have to be $60.03. Something with it has to have a 60 and 3 in it.
Cool. Oh, okay. So okay.
Yep. Cool. Whether it's $63, $60.03, 603, whatever it is, something like that.
Cool.
But it has a 60 and 3 all in it. Okay.
Yep. Exactly.
That's right.
Awesome.
That's cool. So right now I got 2 days remaining, folks. So if you want to go on, let's beat the ski people, because no offense, skiing is not really a sport until the wintertime. These guys, I'm talking trash right now.
Coach Corey's the best. He's dominant. He is dominant.
Hey, the ski director might want to come on and say, "What are you talking trash?" Down in Baltimore.
No, I got all the respect of the world.
I know, me too. Hey, skiing. My parents ski a lot, and it's the first time when I went on skis, I was like, "What is this?" I'm like, and I started screaming all the different languages, like, you did this, and that, and I'm like, I felt like, like if you watch James Bond, the movie, and there's a place when he used to go down the skis with like that. I did that one time, and my dad goes, "What are you, Bond?" I'm like, that's James Bond, man. So. Anyway, Coach, so I put the website out there. I think it's www.givecampus.com/school, University of New Hampshire /the 6-603-challenge-2023, right?
Yeah, and then I think you can directly.
That's a lot of words. That's a lot. Yeah.
I think you can directly go to it if you go to unh.edu/603.
Cool.
Okay. All right, we'll put it.
Well, yeah, Coach. Well, that's the website that I use, and it's direct. Then you can just click on Give Now, and that's a much shorter, much more concise website.
Awesome. Yeah, mine was like, what? Yeah, here you go. Here's the website here, and 4 days ago. So, all right, cool. Well, Coach, keep up the good work, and we'll put it out there before the end of the show here.
Cat's rolling around over here. The wife just got a new cat. Sorry about that.
Oh.
Yeah, we will. We'll keep rolling. We're gonna keep the pedal down. We got to build off that momentum from last year. So
yes, you do.
As I tell the guys, past performances don't dictate future success. So we got to keep it rolling. Got to redefine ourselves every single day.
What's the cat's name? Because I have 3
Lewis,
cats here.
Lewis, man, say hello to the viewers, Lewis.
Hey, Petey, come on in here, Petey. Yeah, my production studio guy. He's sleeping. Yeah, he comes up. I have a black cat that walks around here, brown, black. He goes meow. Yeah, he's like meow, and then if he doesn't like you, he pushes your phone off the table. He goes,
oh,
yeah. I'm like, thanks, dude. Really? Yeah. So. All right, Kerry. Good luck.
Thank you so much for your time, guys. Appreciate it.
Keep in touch, okay?
All right,
you're welcome.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.
Good luck.
Thank you.
All right. Coach Santos, a good friend of ours here on the program. We will put that up later in the show.
Mm-hmm.
So today we're doing a lot of awareness here on the program. We got a lot of things going on. I feel like one of those people that come give to us.
Hey, I mean, I work at a grocery store, so it's like we raise money for where I work. We raise money for the March of Dimes. We have we have one called we raise money for our local food banks here. So yeah.
Yeah, so it's also, besides Autistic Awareness Month, it's also Parkinson's Awareness Month, and it's just something close to to my family. I have an aunt who she got Parkinson's a couple of years ago, and and she's doing really well, trying to I guess you're trying to beat the the thing and all that stuff. So and if you know what's out there, let's read this real quick before we bring in the coach for Army on. Every 6 minutes, someone will be diagnosed with the Parkinson's disease in the United States. So every 6 minutes, folks. Later in the show, we'll play a little clip from we all know about our favorite person that we like here on the program. His name is Mr. Neil Diamond. He has Parkinson's.
Yes, he does. Yes,
and he was on CBS the Sunday morning this past Sunday talking about it. So so we'll talk more about that later in the program. So let's bring in the head coach of the Army up there in West Point. The cadets. They're going to be playing a great. They're going to be playing on Easter weekend. So that's not a bad thing to do. Playing on Easter weekend. The Army, the cadets, they are ranked 7th in the country after beating Bucknell last week, 12-7. So they moved up to 1 spot. We're bringing in the head coach of the Army cadets, Joe. Adam, go ahead. This is Joe
Alvarini.
Yeah, let's bring him in. Hey, Coach, how you doing?
What's up, guys? How you doing?
I didn't know you were coming on tonight because I didn't get the message from your AD guy. I'm like, is he coming on? Yeah, I'm sitting there going,
is that right?
I'm like, I'm trying to figure out what to do, but it's great. I'm glad you're on. I appreciate it.
Okay.
Yeah. So let's talk about your season so far. Not bad. You're in the Patriot League. You won last week. This week you're on the road at Colgate on Easter weekend. So it's a little, tough thing to go on the road for Easter weekend, but you're going to play a good Cornell team.
That's right. Well, we've got Colgate this weekend, and then Cornell the following weekend. So it's been a great year so far, Chris. Very pleased with our guys. We had an opening season loss to UMass, and then after that, we've been able to run off 8 straight, and our guys have played quite well throughout that time and getting a little better each weekend. So it's been a good group to work with. Really new. We lost a lot of guys from last year's team, which was exceptional, a 12-4 team. That included guys like Brendan Nichtern, who was a first teamer and rookie of the year in the PLL, and a number of other great senior group, and then dealt with some injuries early on. But this team's been able to find a way so far. So we're going to try and keep that rolling into Colgate.
Yeah. I see that you have a face-off specialist who is from my neck of the woods here around the Maryland area. He just won Face-Off Specialist of the Week. So explain to folks what a Face-Off Specialist does. He just gets the face-off and he goes run off the field, right?
Yeah, Will Coletti is our face-off. They call him a FOGO, face-off, get off. But he is an excellent athlete, and that has enabled us to generate some offense from that area. So against against Bucknell, he had 15 ground balls, had a goal, had an assist, and really tilted the field for us. And just continued to stack possessions on top of one another. So we really were, we've been blessed with Will. He's a tough kid, a young man. He's a great competitor, and he's very skilled at what he does. And that has been one of the keys to our success.
Anna, you got a question?
Yeah, I was looking at your schedule and looking at you. 2 of the next 3 games you play against ranked opponents. You play number 5 ranked Cornell on the 15th, and then you end up with your home finale against Boston University, which is ranked 19th. What would it mean to have either 2 or 3 teams from the Patriot League meet the NCAA tournament this year?
Yeah, it would be. Listen, we're trying to take it one at a time, and I know that sounds very coach speak like. Our focus has been just on Colgate, but it will be a very competitive end of the year for us, and the best way to enter into that is by with a victory this weekend. But you're right, Cornell is a top 5 team, a team we had a great victory over last year with in similar circumstances. And then of course our great rival in the Naval Academy, and then Boston University, who we lost to last year in the we beat them in the last week of the regular season and lost to them in the Patriot League championship game. So a lot of very outstanding opponents left, and starts with this one against Colgate up there, tough place to win, and a hungry team that I'm sure is ready to get another Patriot League victory.
Yeah, Coach, are they expanding the NCAA tournament? Because I heard in the men's basketball they're talking about making it more than 68. Are they going to do the same thing for lacrosse? Because like you said, you're in these conference championship games. You guys lost last year.
Yeah.
You didn't get the bid to go to the tournament, and you had a great record. And and you're thinking like, wow, we had a great season, and we don't have a chance to go anywhere to make a Thunder anywhere. So do you think they could expand it?
Chris, that's happened to us now 3 times in the last 5 years. Going back to 2017, we had beaten Syracuse, who was number 2 at their place. We beat Notre Dame, who was number 4. We had 3 other top 20 wins, and we were 12-4, and had lost to Loyola in the conference final and didn't get in. Like what sport does that happen in, right? Where you have that number of. So I would be all in favor of an expanded NCAA tournament. I would be kind of speaking outside of my lane if I could tell you exactly where that stood. I know that is something from the coaches that we are pushing and would like to see happen. But there's a formula to it based on the number of schools that play, and then they take a certain percentage. So I think with basketball there must be some expansion going on in the Division I level, and then in lacrosse is continuing to grow at all levels. Probably the slowest at Division I. Division III, it's tripled in size in the last 3 years or 30 years, excuse me. And Division II has maybe quadrupled in size in the last 30 years. Look, men's Division I has been slower, although it has continued to get slower growth, but it has gotten larger.
Yeah. Well, talk about that rivalry against Navy, because Matt and I saw the football version this year, and that was a classic game in Philadelphia.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you guys get that same feeling too? Like you got it, but you guys are all brothers. And no matter what, if you guys are going to fight together in these wars and protect our country, our freedoms, and all that stuff. But during the football or lacrosse game, it's like we don't like you for 60 minutes. That's all okay.
Correct. A lot of respect for their program and how they how the level that they play at. It is one that's really unique in our sport, where Chris will play a lot of games in February up here, and it's pretty common amongst all lacrosse, 500 people, and then you'll go ahead and play the Army Navy game. Was up here at West Point last year in front of 10,000. So it's a much different deal. We play on a Saturday night in Annapolis in 3 weeks, and I'm certain that will be an incredible atmosphere for our guys, and probably much like the way the football is. They play in front of 25, 30,000, and then all of a sudden you're in an NFL arena in front of 80, and there's a little different feel. So it's the same thing for our guys, and it's been a great rivalry and a real privilege to be a part of as over the past 18 years.
Yeah, man, you got a question for Coach?
Yeah, Coach. You've had a great season so far, but as people say, you learn more from a loss than you do with wins. So what has your team learned from that one loss that you had at the beginning of the season?
Yeah, it is. That is so true. Where you do lose, or you learn so much from a loss. In there, it was a unique game. I had mentioned at the beginning how many guys we had lost from the previous year in terms of graduation. There was 18 guys who graduated. 15 of those guys were pretty large parts of our team. So when we entered the field against UMass, we were brand new everywhere. I mean, everywhere, brand new. This is my 18th season at West Point, and I've never had anything that's come close to that in terms of new faces, not only freshmen, but just because that senior class was so dominant and so talented and had graduated. There's just sophomores and juniors who were good, but they hadn't played. So it took us a little bit. The first half, we were down 4-1. We weren't really playing at a very high level. Second half, we played very well. And I think what we took from it was how we played in the second half. We had played well enough to win, had some opportunities and just came up short. And UMass, tough program. But we came up short, and that gave us a lot of energy and belief in ourselves. And then the following week, we played against Rutgers, who was at that time in the top 10 in the country, and we were able to get a 14-13 win, and since that point, our focus every Monday in film session has been, we've got to get better from a win. It's almost like you quoted me here. Every it's much easier to get better from a loss, but the best teams are able to learn when they win, and you have to turn a critical eye on what you're doing. You have to be honest with yourselves when the rest of the world is telling you, how wonderful you are because you won. There's always certain plays that probably could have turned it the other way, and we're just, again, a very inexperienced group, which gives us a high ceiling, and we've had a good problem to have in trying to learn from wins. Well, hopefully we can keep that going.
That's cool. Well, Coach Joe, thanks so much for coming on tonight. Good luck this weekend, and we hope to talk to you before the Patriot final, or hopefully get in the NCAA tournament, and maybe you make a trip back down to Annapolis and play somebody down there in the tournament.
All right. Hey, guys, thanks so much for having me.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate it.
Coach, have a good one.
We have good luck.
See you.
All right. Thank you.
Bye. All right. That's the coach from Army West Point, Coach Joe Antiberia on the program.
Alberisi.
Thank you, Adam. That's why I paid you the big bucks.
because I think it's an Italian name.
Yes, it should be.
Yes, it is, Adam. It is very much Italian.
Yeah, it's a little hard there. Before we bring in Brian Sawcross, the GM of the Bowie Bay Sox, on this date in 1974, this guy, let me bring it up here. Where is it? Did I put it in here? Hold on a second here. Hold on. I thought I had it here. Hold on.
Okay.
Oh, here it is. This guy went yard to tie a very old record. So hold on, let me get this. Let me get this video up. Somehow it's not letting me load it up right now. Come on. Hold on, folks. We'll be there shortly. Where is it now? I had it here. Sorry for the delay here, folks. I had it here, and now I can't. Oh, there it is. So hold on a second before we bring Brian. So here it is. This is a very old record. Yeah, this gentleman who became the all-time home run leader. Come on. What in the heck is going on here? Let's go. All right, here it is. On this day in 1974.
3-1 pitch. There's a drive into left field. That ball is going, and out of here. Henry Aaron has just tied Babe Ruth in the all-time home run parade. The crowd is up. As you would expect, a standing ovation. His teammates are there to greet him. A 3-run blast by Henry Aaron has tied the great Babe Ruth. The record they said that couldn't be reached has just been reached by Henry Aaron.
To NBC Sports back in '74. Thank you for joining there. So let's bring in Brian, the GM of the Bowie Bay Sox. Hi, Brian. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Other than I live in Annapolis. You just had an Army coach on. I played football for William Mary. You just had the UNH coach on. So I don't know, boys. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Hey, we love the CAA. We love all the Army and Navy stuff. Matt and I saw that game this year. It was great. Up there in Philadelphia.
I was there. I was there.
Yeah. I was amazed by it. So so go ahead, Matt. You have something?
It was an absolute thriller. Having a walk-off like that, words can't explain. That was an absolute thriller with the way that game ended. It was just amazing. So, going into double overtime, it was just fantastic, and the way the fans were the whole game. Being in an Army Navy game is really just like what people have said. It's much different than any other game that you go to. It's really much different.
It doesn't matter what the sport is, because I live in Annapolis. It doesn't matter. If I know nothing about the sport, I go.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Because
being a part of that kind of game is just special within itself.
Yep.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yep.
So, is there anything brand new down there at the ballpark this year at Prince George's Stadium? Any brand new stuff you guys doing? Anything to bring the fans back? Yeah, the fans are back after a couple of years of that COVID garbage. Finally is out the door. Yeah, finally.
It is, and actually, we just got a memo from Major League Baseball essentially saying all the restrictions have essentially been lifted. So there have been a couple of staples of minor league baseball and I know you have some minor league baseball coming, people behind me, but things like meet the team, we've never been, we haven't been allowed to do that last 2 years. So that's been very, very popular for us. I've been here a long time, and so bringing those things back, and we actually have a kids only autograph day. So those are things we just haven't been able to do in the past 3 years. And as you guys know, this is what makes minor league baseball is the intimacy, the access to players. So it's really been fun to start and almost going back to the future and doing some of the things that have been so successful for our industry for so long. And then we also have new ownership here with Attain Sports and Entertainment, who have invested into our facility as well. So we have new so many new things here at the ballpark for fans, fan amenities, and so we're fired up.
Yeah. So the team is on the road this week. They're going to be up at Hartford, Connecticut, old stomping ground of our good friend George Bachera, he's doing other stuff, but taking on the Yardgoats. And next week, you guys are back home. They're back home for the home opener against the Rubber Ducks, and they have a manager in Odor who used to be the Orioles second baseman. He's the new Akron coach. So that's pretty interesting. Somebody coming back to this area.
Good guy too. I've known him for a little while, even as a visiting manager, and really a fair guy, good baseball guy, good to hang out with.
Yeah. So you're saying brand new ownership, taking over, from because they own you guys. They own. I think what other teams they own? They own Aberdeen, right?
Frederick actually, and Frederick also. They also purchased an independent team, so there'll be two teams playing out of Frederick this year, which they went from 30 home games to 88 home games. So the staff over there is freaking out a little bit, but and they also purchased Loudoun United. Okay, so Loudoun United is the USL soccer team that formerly was owned by DC United.
Okay,
so it's a group headed by a gentleman by the name of Greg Baroni. And they are really into the acquisition of sports teams. They're very, very involved, and they really are building this sports and entertainment division.
That's cool. And it's always the first year you have a brand new ownership. You're kind of like you're trying not to what's it saying? Yeah, make the bosses happy. Yeah, you don't want them to be like, oh, we know these people real well. Yeah, you're trying to do the best job you can to keep them happy and say, hey, this is a great investment. And Bowie's been around so many years. I remember the days that you guys played at the old 33rd Street for the first couple of years, because the building, the stadium down there in Prince George's County wasn't even built.
It's a good trivia question. We were the last professional baseball team to play at Memorial Stadium.
Yeah, that's great. And I still remember Mike Messina coming over for rehab, and my brother was like, "Oh, this is pretty cool." See Mike Messina in a minor league game. I was like, "Yeah, it's pretty cool. That's awesome." So that's a good way. And people don't realize that those tickets are affordable and they're great for families because nobody has the money to go to Major League Baseball anymore. It's too much money. It's like these tickets are. What I went to a Met game a couple years ago. It was $15 for a ticket for the Orioles and Mets. Plus you got to get food. By the time I'm done, it was like $60 already spent. It's like, like I like to keep my $60 for something else. That's the best thing. Yeah.
We'd like to think of ourselves as we're in the fan development as well. We're in the player development clearly. That's what we're here to do. But we're also in the fan development. So if you're not a rabid or a hardcore baseball fan, come to our ballpark, and then you know what? If you really love it, then you can graduate to the majors just like our players do. So we believe that we're in the fan development business.
Yeah. We do want to say a shout out to our good friend Steve Condenin, who I know really personally. He brought Capital Gold down there. You guys are on that station WNAV down there in Annapolis, and it is refurbished the studio, so it looks really cool looking. So just talk about that partnership you guys just started. And Steve, if you're watching, hello, how you doing?
It's been a long-term partnership, although COVID break. And they decided not to pick up the Orioles full season, and it really is an opportunity for us. Annapolis is really in our backyard, and so many fans come from Anne Arundel County and Annapolis that we really think it's a fantastic partnership. So we've enjoyed our relationship with NAB over the years, and we're just happy. And we've never dropped the relationship. It's changed over the years, and we have broadcasted games. And then we went when the Orioles were there just to streaming with NAB. But we're thrilled. I mean, this is our backyard, and we had a partnership with R&R in Annapolis, but R&R now is changing their format. So this is just a great opportunity for us.
That's cool. Adam, you had a question,
Yeah,
Brian?
I was looking at your break camp roster, and a name that stood out to me as someone that I saw when I watched a lot of college baseball. He came from the University of Arkansas. Heston Kierstad. Tell us about Heston. And I will say this, Chris and Matt, Heston will be in the major leagues soon enough. He's a very talented prospect. He had a lot of home runs down there in Arkansas. So Brian, tell us about Heston Kierstad.
Yeah, fantastic spring training too. I mean, he really tore it. I believe it. He tore it up, and so he's a 5-tool guy, and we hope he's. That's the struggle with us is I hope they don't stay here long, but long enough just to give us a couple of W's. But yeah, we're very excited about him, and we're the entire roster of the top 30 prospects in the Orioles system. We have 6 of them, so we're pretty excited, and Heston Kierstad is going to be exciting. He's exciting at the plate. He's exciting playing defense as well. So, yeah, we hope he hangs around, but not too long.
Yeah, that's true. Brian, before we let you go, talk about your manager. He's a good friend of ours. He was in Aberdeen for a couple of years. Now he's with you guys for a couple of years. An Alabama guy. A guy who played Alabama Tide baseball. So it's pretty cool to talk a little Alabama football with him.
Kyle Moore, he's returning as a manager here, so we have a good relationship, and he's been in the system, and he really buys into the Mike Elias system of baseball, and he's great with the guys. He's well respected in the clubhouse. He's well respected by the Orioles brass, and we have a great working relationship as well. So it's great to have Kyle back. He's a steady force. He's not too high, not too low. He's really a very steady force, but connects with all the players. Like I said, is a good influence as well, is a good mentor. So we think the world of him, and we're happy that he's here. And of course, Buck Britton was with us as well. Buck is now in AAA. So we're really happy that a couple of our guys are in the right places. It's really important. These AA and AAA managers are really, really important, especially in the way Mike Elias has built this organization.
That's true. Well, Brian, thank you so much for coming on. The home opener is next Tuesday, April 11th, hopefully at 6:35. Hopefully you have nice weather like this week, because I know I was down there a couple of times back in the other a couple of years ago. It was like 35 degrees and you had the windows open. I'm like, this is not baseball.
If it's 35 degrees every time you come, Chris, we don't want you.
Okay, that works.
We want 75 and sunny.
Hey, I'll agree with that, Brian. I'll agree with that.
Yeah, I hope to see you probably maybe the 15th of April. I'll see how I'm doing with the stuff I'm doing, but I hope to see you then. If not, I'll probably see you during the season.
Very good.
Pleasure being here, guys. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks, Brian.
That's it. All right, that's Brian Shawcross, the GM of the Bowie Bay Sox, and yes, a shout out to our good friend Steve Mann, or Steve Kendenon, who is a good friend of ours, or a friend of mine. Good luck to him with the partnership with the Bowie Bay Sox, and so we're going to switch gears here. Let's go down to Charleston. I guess Charleston's a good place this time around. They had their great, great basketball team doing
sunny, and I can't think of a better place. Place minor league baseball right on the water.
Exactly. So let's bring in Jason Kempf, who is the director of broadcasting and media relations for the Charleston River Dogs, who used to be I think they used to be the affiliate of the New York Yankees, but I think they probably moved on. So let me ask Jason. Hey, Jason, how are you?
Good. How's it going? I heard Brian talking about the weather. That's not a problem here either. It was 82 today, and we're ready to go in a couple days here.
Yeah. So your team is affiliated. We used to be affiliated with the New York Yankees, but now it's what? Are you with Kansas City? I can't remember.
Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay.
Yep. So when I took the job, which was just prior to COVID in 2020, we were still a Yankees affiliate, and then when Major League Baseball took over, that's kind of where the shuffle happened. The Yankees went with a lot of teams in the Northeast, and we ended up with the Rays, which was a partnership that had preceded the Yankees when they were the Devil Rays. But it's a good time to be a Rays affiliate right now. They have plenty of talent, and it just keeps coming.
Oh yeah, they somehow they just have like they don't have the checkbook, they don't have the the money, but they still bring good talent up to Tampa, and it's sad that they can't fill that ballpark. That's a nice dome stadium. It's like, come on, folks, what's going on there?
Yeah, we were just down for spring training last week, and the good news is they've started to work with the city, and I think they're hoping, based on the latest news, to have a resolution on a new stadium in a different location. I believe it are the rumors here by the end of the year. So that probably comes around in the next 4 or 5 years, and obviously that could impact attendance as well.
Yeah, and they had to do spring training there this year because the facility at Port Charlotte got wiped out by the hurricane. So where you were down there, are they working on getting that back up and running, or it's going to be next year back there?
Yeah, I think the plan, if all goes well, is to be back there. Like you said, their facility in Port Charlotte was damaged pretty good by the hurricane. So fortunately, Florida has plenty of complexes, and they just went to Disney, which the Braves have since vacated. And honestly, talking to the guys, the big league team was there for a week or two. They played one game against the Yankees, and then they just moved to St. Pete and played the rest of spring at the Trop. Meanwhile, the minor league guys stayed at Disney, and that's an area that has a lot. It's hosted a major league team before, so I think they were very happy with it. But obviously, it would be great to get back to where you're supposed to be next year. They actually, because Disney's so busy, after we left and the camp rosters broke, they've moved the minor league operations to Sarasota now that the Orioles have cleared. So there's been a lot of movement, and they're trying to make it work. But having good players and good staff members certainly helps that process.
Yeah. So home opener is this week. Actually, it's going to be Thursday. So are you guys honoring the basketball team who did a fantastic job? Throughout the CAA, and they made it to the tournament. Are you guys going to do one of those congratulations on winning the tournament and all that stuff?
That's the plan. So we actually open at Myrtle Beach, and then we're home on Tuesday, the 11th. But we won championships as well the last 2 seasons. So I know that first week we have a lot of back-to-back championship themed outings, and then when we get later into the season, we do have plans. Pat Kelsey is a big River Dogs fan. Since he took the job at College of Charleston, we've seen him around the ballpark quite a bit. So we're definitely going to have him out, honor them some way. And we have plenty of college basketball down here with 3 Division I schools. So we always try to have the coaches and players out to a game.
Yeah, just talk about winning the championship. I didn't realize you won the Carolina League. Or are they back using the names now? Because I know during COVID they got rid of the names. It was like, are they back to the normal names?
Yeah, we are back-to-back champions, but it's odd because we won the Low A East, quote unquote, in 2021, and then the Carolina League last year. It was the same teams playing each other, but it was under a different league name. But just talking about the run, you mentioned the Yankees affiliation, and the Yankees have the money, they have plenty of talent, but it's kind of operated a different way. And the River Dogs hadn't won a championship since 1922, which is a ridiculous amount of time in minor league baseball. You're in a league with 12 teams, 14 teams. You would think you'd get lucky once in there, but it had been 99 years when we won in 2021, and then to do it again in our first 2 years with the Rays was just, I think, unexpected. Nobody really knew how to handle that in Charleston because they just hadn't had any on-field success.
Well, I was just doing some research real quick. Bill Murray is part of your, is he still part of the ownership?
He is. Mike Vack and Bill Murray together. That group just actually sold St. Paul, so we're the one affiliated team that's left under the Gold Claim Group. And Bill and Mike were actually around about a month ago now. They filmed all of our TV and radio commercials this year, so they're involved not just in their name, but they're around the ballpark a decent amount.
That's cool.
So did anybody do what about Bob? Baby steps into the clubhouse. Baby steps to the clubhouse.
I think they stayed away from the movies he's already done. They tried to keep me as far away from that process because they needed to get down to business, and people in the office know that having me around isn't the best way to get work done sometimes. Yeah, I heard they were entertaining. They're funny, so I'm looking forward to seeing them this week.
That's cool. That's awesome. Matt, you got a question for Jason?
Yeah, so just talk about the team's success. You said that you guys have won a couple of championships. So how have they been able to sustain that level of success?
That's a great question. I think everybody else in Major League Baseball is trying to figure out what the Rays are doing right now, because whatever it is, it's worked. But the way they've won the championships has been the most impressive thing. I mean, you know how minor league baseball works. I think we've had a total of approximately 130 players in the last 2 seasons. In 2021, we finished 82 and 38. And then last year, the Rays said, okay, we're going to send some younger players there because we don't need to dominate the league like that. And then last year, they went 88 and 44 with 3 of their biggest names being 19-year-olds. So that's been the impressive thing. Guys have moved on early in the season. Guys have moved on in the middle of the season. And you think, okay, eventually the talent's going to run out. And then 5 new guys show up that are equally as talented. And you just wonder, it's something in the scouting, the player development. Whenever they make a trade, it seems like the Rays find a way to win that trade. Curtis Mead is one of their biggest prospects. He spent all spring with the big league team and is in AAA Durham. They got him for a minor league pitcher. Junior Caminero is now close to a top 100 prospect. They flipped him for a minor league pitcher. And eventually I would think teams are just going to stop trading with the Rays because it always seems like the guys they give up end up being big leaguers. So it's kind of been interesting to watch from the inside.
That's true. Well, so this is the Carolina League, so I guess you guys play everybody once or twice throughout the season?
You would think, right? There's only 12 teams, but we have not since COVID played the Carolina Mudcats. And
wow.
I grew up in Wisconsin as a Milwaukee Brewers fan, and I have not seen a Milwaukee Brewers prospect since 2019. So it's kind of interesting. We're not far. They're in North Carolina. We're in South Carolina, but
I think they're in Hickory.
Zebulon.
Zebulon, yes.
Yep. So I don't know what the deal is. We've been to Kinston 3 or 4 times, but we haven't been to Zebulon, and they're not on the schedule again. So it's odd.
Hey, actually, Matt, you and I. Go ahead. Go ahead.
You should play everyone in your league at least twice.
I agree.
Yeah. Maybe Matt and I should make a trip down when you guys get to Delmarva. Maybe we can see you guys over there. That'd be it's not a short trip, for Matt and I to go to Salisbury. So that'd be cool. But is it great to have Mondays off? Because I wish I had Mondays off every year, every week.
The way the old minor league schedule was, it was 5 or 6 off days just scattered randomly throughout the year, and so you'd be working for 25 straight days. So it is nice. My wife and I just had a baby last season. So I will say the 6-game road trips are a lot sometimes. It feels like by Friday or Saturday, you're used to those 3 or 4 game trips that it's time to go home. But having a regular off day to kind of reset, go to a new city, or get things started for a new homestand, I think has been great. And it's been surprising to me how little bad blood is developed between teams despite playing each other every day for a whole week. You would think sometimes maybe some feelings would get hurt early in the week and they might start to not like each other as much, but that hasn't been an issue.
Yeah, you have like a little brouhaha after like game 3.
Right, exactly.
It's like, okay, it's all right. Playing Fredericksburg, the Nationals, how cool is that stadium look? I had a chance to I was going to go down today, but I got busy with stuff around here and getting ready for the show, but it looks brand new. Is it really a good family-oriented ballpark for people who have disabilities?
Yeah, it's great. We were one of the first teams to go in there last year. I hadn't been there before because we didn't play those teams as far up north in 2021 because of COVID.
Right.
They kind of built it to look like you're at a Nationals game with the white stone behind home plate. They have a really nice setup. The concourse is 360 degrees. The entrance to the stadium is right at parking lot level, so there's no hill to climb or anything like that. But it was phenomenal. They had a bunch of cool seating areas in the bullpen areas.
Oh, that's cool.
Behind the outfield. They had like a party patio behind right field, big playground for kids. I was really impressed. The only downside as a broadcaster is the the new thing is to put the press box over on like third base.
Oh,
so it's kind of odd to you
It
can
should
see.
be it kind of should be behind home plate like every
Right.
other place.
And with new stadiums, a lot of that goes for money with specialty seating, right? They put suites back there or special clubs or bars. So I understand, but you can't see inside or outside. You can't see how much a pitch is moving. You can basically see if something's high or low, and then you got to watch on your TV monitor to figure out what else happened.
That's true. Well, Jason, thanks very much for coming on. Thanks for being part of the show again. And maybe we will work with you guys during the season because we're going to move our show hopefully to Mondays because I feel like Mondays is a better day for us because everybody's off and we could probably get some players and coaches and maybe we could get somebody from Charleston on and see how they're doing. And, maybe we get one of them on to preview that 6-game series against Delmarva in May.
Yeah, absolutely. Anything you guys need, great to hear from you again. Talking to you means the season's right around the corner. So excited about it.
All right, Jason. Good luck and enjoy the Myrtle Beach on Saturday on this week, and hope it's warm.
Thanks, guys. It'll be plenty more.
Yes, sir.
All right, man. Talk to you soon. That's it. All right, that's Jason Kempf, who is the Director of Broadcasting and Media Relations of Charleston River Dogs, the single-A affiliate of your Tampa Bay Rays.
And before we bring on our next guest, it's called I Have to Go Put Something Up Real Quick.
Okay. Adam's leaving the building. We got to put the Red Sox up. Hey, well, you do that, Adam. There's another video I got to play. Matt, you know me as a Met historian. Got to love on this.
Yes, I do.
On this date in 1988, this guy, we all know about Darryl Strawberry with the power, right? Remember Darryl with the power? Everything he hit, was gone. Well, this ball never got back, never came down at this place, and this is why we're in the X-Ray jersey today. So let's play that real quick. So here is the on this date in 1988, Darryl Strawberry did this.
It's 4-4 St. Louis at Cincinnati in the 12th, and 5-1 San Francisco over the Dodgers. Bottom of the 5th inning.
Speaking of home runs, there's a long drive. That ball is out of here. Home run, Darryl Strawberry.
That ball may have hit the lights up there. It may have hit the top of the stadium. I think it did. Darryl slowed down. I can't believe it. That ball hit the top of the stadium.
Oh, he's going to get hurt.
He might get hurt with that swing, but not with that handshake.
It's tough getting down that low when you're 6'6". Oh, boy.
You can get anywhere you want to with that kind.
Yes, good old Tim McCarver and Fran Healy on the call for the Mets back in 1988 there, Adam. It hit the lights up in Olympic Stadium.
Yeah. I mean, we all missed Tim McCarver this time of the year, Chris.
Yes, we missed him. Sadly, he passed away before the start of the season. We know this young lady is something, Adam, who would love to meet personally. Yeah. And she's bringing the women of baseball, doing a great job doing the play-by-play up there in Portland, Maine. So go ahead, Adam, bring her in.
Our next guest is one of 4 original females to call minor league baseball. She has called a lot of sports in her career, especially traveling all across the country to do minor league baseball. But if you go up to beautiful Portland, Maine in the spring and summer, head to historic Hadlock Field because you'll catch her doing the play-by-play for the AA affiliate of the Boston Red Sox. So let's bring in the voice of your Portland Sea Dogs, Emma Tiedemann. Emma, thanks so much for joining us tonight, and tell people why they need to go up to Portland, Maine to see a Sea Dogs game this year.
Oh man, there are so many reasons to come up here, but I think it might be Slugger the Sea Dog and Sea Dog biscuits, and of course the baseball too.
Yeah, and the seafood.
Yeah, definitely the lobster.
Thank you. Yes.
So Emma, this is how many years you've been doing this? This is your play-by-play. I know I talked to you I had you on the show a couple of years ago when we did the radio, the phone version of it. How many years has it been so far?
So this is going to be my 10th season for baseball, and then 15th year overall in play-by-play.
Nice, that's cool. So you still get nervous doing the home openers and and games on the field. Sometimes they're like classic moments. Do you have like that classic call? Like we just played that home run by Darryl Strawberry hitting the lights in Olympic Stadium in 1988. And Fran Healy, and it's I don't see the ball. Do you have something like that? You had one of those?
Yeah, I think I've had some moments over the years. I think one of the games last season, we had a really important triple off the wall in right center field, and it kind of, I didn't expect it to go viral, but a lot of our fans really shared it and really liked it. I don't really have a home run call quite yet. I have one that I say in, really no doubter situations, because I'd never want to call a home run that's not actually a home run. So I make sure it's safe and at least like 400 feet out of here. But no, I just call it as it is. And if it's a crazy play, then I'll describe it as such. And hopefully that resonates with fans.
Yeah. So Thursday you're taking on the Mets affiliate. So it's pretty cool. The old Red Sox Met rivalry, in AA baseball. I know, when I was a kid, the Mets won the World Series in '86, and thanks to Bill Buckner for doing that for me. It was really nice of him. But just talk about minor league baseball. Do these players know about their parent club's rivalries?
I think so. I think that's part of them coming up in the system and spring training and talking to the big league guys about their experiences, against the Yankees or the Mets. And I think that even if they grew up in California and were a Dodgers fan, I mean, every baseball player, fan, etc., knows the historic rivalries and knows, the Red Sox and the Yankees are none too friendly, and that sort of thing. So I think, as soon as they're drafted or signed by the Red Sox, they know they can't like the Yankees anymore.
Yeah, that's true, Emma. That's true. That's true.
That's true. So, Adam, you were telling me all about Portland, Maine, because we call him the mayor of Portland because he knows everybody up there, and everybody knows him. And the bowling alley, he walks into the with the professional bowler store, and they know him. Like we had him on, we did a show from he was up there, got some players, and it was like, hi Adam, how you doing, Adam?
Yeah,
so it's like, wow.
So it's called in September, the best bowlers in the world are gonna be a Bayside Bowl, which is about 5 minutes away from you guys. So if the Sea Dogs are in the playoffs, if I have some time, I'll head to historic Cadillac Field to catch a game. I was up there a couple years ago to see the Rumble Ponies versus the Sea Dogs, and football park is kind of like Fenway Park because you have a left field like Green Monster, and I think that's pretty cool. And tell us about there's a really cool promotion today called the Dime a Degree regarding general admission tickets. So tell us about it.
Yeah, so it's a tradition we've had. I don't know exactly how long they've had it, but it's basically there's a day chosen, and whatever the temperature is at 9 a.m. Say, for example, today it was 49 degrees, which was a pretty warm day in Portland for early April. We were all happy about that. But, 49 degrees. So general admission tickets to every game this season were $4.90. And, as you probably can tell, I'm still in the ticket office right now, still at work. I think that we had a historically successful day today, selling the most tickets for a day because it's really only for today in many, many years. So it's really exciting to see the excitement and, everybody just so ecstatic that the Sea Dogs are coming back and obviously taking advantage of our sales as well. So it's great to see.
Yeah. And the Sea Dogs are the AA affiliate of the Boston Red Sox, and you guys have had a lot of historic players come through. Mookie Betts did some rehab assignments up there in Portland. So tell us about the stadium, Hadlock Field. It's one of the coolest stadiums that I know in all of minor league baseball.
Yeah, I absolutely love Hadlock. It was built for our 1994 season. So it's not like your Dunkin' Donuts Park in Hartford or anything like that. But it's really stood the test of time. It's a very intimate experience here at Hadlock. So when you walk in the gates, our concession stands are all covered. And so then you have to walk up the stairs, and then that's where you find yourself in the seating bowl. And it's such a great view because we do have it's not the green monster, it's the main monster.
Yes, it is.
In left field. It is the same height as the green monster at Fenway. So our players get a lot of good practice about hitting it over the wall. And it's got little touches in it too. So our scoreboard out there also has Morse code in it, just like the scoreboard at Fenway does also. And then we have our video board to the right of that. And then in right field, we have Giffords Pavilion, which is technically the only place to catch a home run ball. It's our all-you-can-eat seats.
I was there a couple years ago for the Rumble Ponies versus Sea Dogs, and it's called I Enjoyed All You Can Eat. It was very, very cool. I wish I could have caught a home run ball, but hopefully when I go up there in September, if you guys are having playoffs, I'd love to come join you in the press box for a couple innings.
Yeah. I'm really excited this season. I'm going to have Riley Pay as my assistant this year, so the two of us will be calling the home games. And then I'll, of course, be on the road with the team as well. So it's exciting.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, Emma, I was looking at the Hall of Fame. You guys had a lot of cool players throughout the years. Kobe Ellsbury, who was with you guys for a while now, he's retired. He was with the Yankees. I don't think they signed him or anything. Kevin Millar, who was with the Marlins at the time. You guys were the Marlins affiliate, so it's pretty funny that Marlins and Red Sox were both up there in Portland.
Yeah, it's and that's why we have all the teal stuff still is because of the Marlins tie-in. So it's cool to obviously honor all those guys that were the Marlins, farm hands, and then now we have a lot of new guys with the Red Sox.
Mm-hmm. Hey Matt, you got a question for Emma?
Yes, yeah. Emma, so throughout your tenure as a broadcaster, what have you learned?
That's a great question. I think overall, the biggest thing that I've learned is I've learned my passion, and that passion is broadcasting. And so basically my whole life has kind of evolved from that. And all my lessons have come from broadcasting. So, always being prepared, but at the same time, always being able to roll with the punches. Some days you'll set up the equipment and the equipment just decides not to work that day. So, always thinking ahead and planning for, not in that moment freaking out, which mentally and maybe behind the scenes I do, but always pushing ahead. All right, so equipment's not working right now. How do we fix it? How do we get on the air? We have a lineup and my scorebook is all filled out. It's perfect and beautiful. And then 15 minutes before first pitch, we have a lineup change. And I have to go print out lineups, run them to the clubhouses, and not letting that stuff really affect how I am as a person and how I am as a broadcaster too. Your listeners don't care if you're stressed and you've had a 15-hour workday. They just care about the baseball. So I think that being able to, I guess maybe compartmentalize is maybe the best word for that. But, just kind of being able to, at the end of the day say, well, there's lineup change. Wasn't the worst thing that could have happened to me today. And just kind of having a perspective on life in that sense.
Yeah, Matt knows, and I know. He knows when we used to do games on the internet radio, our station, we had one time I was doing Bowie State football. And I'm like, wow, I got a lot of people on the server. I'm like, yeah, everything's working. Man, it's gonna be. And all of a sudden, it crashed.
Oh.
And then people calling up, going, "Hey, what's going on with the broadcast?" I'm sitting here going, I'm freaking out, going, "Who did what to the internet and why?" And I'm like, trying to but in that moment, you have to try to be cool, calm, and collected because you don't want to show your psychotic nut job, brain that. This is not working real well. Why is it not working? Like when we used to first do this show here, I was making sure everything was running smoothly. And I know sometimes we have hiccups here in my house, when we're doing it here, and it's like an old house, and sometimes there's a hiccup. I'm like, oh no, what's going on?
Yeah.
It's just one of those things being a broadcaster. You got to be on your toes, and some people think you're running like a nut job. No, you're not. I'm just trying to get it done.
Yep. Totally feel that.
And Emma, also talk about the significance of the Boston Red Sox versus New York Yankees rivalry.
I mean, It's huge. I think here in Portland, we see the passion of Red Sox fans, and it's really cool. I've worked for other minor league teams in the past, and here at Hadlock, your fans come out and they know who your top prospects are. They even know who's just in your farm system. They don't even have to know the top prospects. So I think that passion for Boston runs very, very deep because of the fact they know the minor league system. And I am technically married to a Yankees fan, so he tells me all the time how much he hates Boston. So I see his passion, and it really goes both ways. I think it's great. I think it's one of the best rivalries in all of sports, because it just dates back between these two great cities, and it's trickled down to sports teams, and it's trickled down to the minor leagues. It's awesome to see that. So I think it's very healthy for the sport, even though it might not seem like that at times.
Yeah. So Emma, it sounds like you guys you're having a great time up there. Good luck with the 30th edition of the Sea Dogs this Thursday against the AA affiliate of the New York Mets, and you might get somebody during. Maybe there might be somebody in rehab. I think one of them just got hurt up in Syracuse. One of the good prospects. So you never know, you might show up there. But good luck with the broadcast, and when Adam gets up there, take care of that man. He needs help.
Thanks a lot, Chris. It's called. What do you think of my hat, Emma? It's called.
It's great. I love the teal.
Thank you. It's called. It's a throwback hat, so it's like. It's called. I had to wear it since you were coming on the show. I was like, okay. It's called. When I heard this, I was like, I gotta get out my Sea Dogs hat, and I was like, and say hi to Slugger for me, will you?
Okay, we'll do. All
right, Emma, thank you so much. Enjoy Thursday.
Thanks, guys.
You're welcome, Emma.
Thanks.
All right, that's Emma Titelman, who is the director of broadcasting of the Portland Sea Dogs, and they will open their 30th season against the New York Mets AA affiliate. We're starting the page, and before we bring in our good friend Dan DeTore, I want to give some props to my broadcast partner there, Matt, who had a chance to talk to Iowa on Sunday after the tough loss to LSU, and this I guess this made viral because it was a big poll on our website, on our YouTube page. It's up to 1K right now, so. Here's the Matt's question to Clark and the other player about their season and everything else during. Matt, you just bring it in.
Oh yeah, the interviews about the Iowa players and everything. So that's what you guys are going to listen to. And just like what Chris said, I mean, it's gone viral and it's up to 1,000 views already. So yeah, so go ahead and enjoy.
All right, here it is.
Yes, Matt Treknelly with Herb FM Sports Radio, and this is for both Monica and Caitlin. First of all, congrats on a phenomenal season and also tournament. But how were you able to overcome obstacles throughout the season, and what successes did both of you experience?
We can start with Monica.
Yeah, I mean, right now I honestly can't even remember all the adversity we faced, but I just know that me as a person, I'm a better woman, a better person. Because of this coaching staff and because of this team. I've grown individually, not even considering basketball, in a way I never thought I could. And that's just a credit to my teammates and my coaches. I keep saying it, but I wouldn't want to be anywhere else because I wouldn't be who I am now, and it's the best version of myself. So I'm super proud of everybody, and I wouldn't have wanted to do it any other place.
Questions on that interview. Fantastic question. I knew it was a great question.
Yeah.
I know this gentleman has some great questions, and sometimes it might show up on ESPN. We know that. Let's bring our good friend Dan DeTore, who has been part of us for the whole tournament. We love hearing his expertise, and let's hear about what his version of UConn beating San Diego State. So let's bring in Dan. Hey, Dan, how are you doing, buddy?
I'm good, man.
Hey, Dan.
What's up,
Dan?
Question for you. What time did you stay up to last night?
What'd you say?
What time were you up to the game? What time?
Well, first, this is my fourth show of the day. And so we did the morning show. We just did 2 shows with girls lacrosse at Liverpool High School in Central New York. And so this is my fourth of the day. Last night, I was up until, I think, at least 1, a little bit after 1. I knew I was going to be up till 1. So a little bit after 1 o'clock.
Wow. So what
I
you take
started watching the game again after it ended. So that's just me, though.
Yeah. So what's your take on UConn? They basically came out, firing in the first half, and it looked like San Diego State kind of couldn't get themselves rolling because they were missing shots, and at one point they were ice cold.
Yeah, UConn. I mean, what did I say when I was on the show last week? I said, would love to see FAU and Miami, but I said I think 3, if not 4 times, UConn can win this thing. I think UConn can win this thing. I think there's a good shot UConn can win this thing. So, and being in the post game where I got to talk to Miami again, and in the Final Four, I got to speak with Isaiah Wong and Jordan Miller about, Coach Al and everything that Coach Larinaga means to the program. I stayed on for UConn, and I told people this for the past many days. I said, I think Dan Hurley knows he's going to win a championship. I was like, and I said, whether or not he'll admit that, maybe on the side, but I think he knew, like, going in, that they had the better team. It's no disrespect to San Diego State. They did. I mean, UConn was beating teams by double figures, all throughout the tournament. And I don't think that the Gonzaga game is indicative of Gonzaga because Drew Timme had 3 fouls in the first half. So they had to play that game different. So I don't think it would have been 28. It might have been 12 or 15 or something like that. But, I mean, UConn was just head and shoulders above everybody. I didn't see it in the beginning, but I think I saw it maybe a little bit quicker than some people saw it in the tournament, that they were just a different team. And my dad and I got to see them live, and, they were dangerous. And when I saw what they did to Arkansas, who had beaten the reigning national champion Kansas, when they blew out Arkansas, that's when I was kind of like, yeah, if Gonzaga gets as far as I think they're going to get to, this is not a good game. And it wasn't. And I mean, UConn handled Miami. Miami's best bet was to hit threes and run, but UConn was better. And, no offense to San Diego State, but I think that was one of the easier games for UConn going through the tournament. I think maybe their hardest game came a couple rounds ago.
That's true. So
yeah, I mean, if you guys like last week, I said that UConn has a 99% chance of winning, and I made that remark because of the fact that I just really have watched all their games, and I really just really felt like, they just weren't winning by luck. They weren't winning by a couple. Like San Diego State beat Florida Atlantic by a buzzer beater to get into the championship game. Okay. And so San Diego State, and when Florida Atlantic beat, I believe, their first round opponent on a buzzer beater as well. So, you have these teams that were just barely beating some of their opponents, whereas UConn was beating every team by double digits. They just weren't beating like lower seeds than them. They like 10, 12, 13, 14 seeds. They were beating also seeds that were a little bit higher than them as well. And so the thing is, they were just blowing them out by double digits. So they were dominant with every single team, and it was really impressive, their performance. And so this has to go down as, I'm not saying the most dominant team, but it's got to go down as one of the top 10 dominant teams, dominant champions in college basketball history. Because I never have seen a team that's every single game double digit and just being this dominant. So props to UConn and their season. Also props to San Diego State that they went ahead and I know that their COVID year that they didn't get an opportunity to get in because the tournament was canceled for 2020. So they had some redemption getting into the championship game. They had a tremendous season getting in the championship game and playing a tough game against UConn. So props to them as well. And props to Florida Atlantic and also Miami to get into the Final Four, because that's no easy task as well.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah. So Dan, let's talk about the women's game, because on Sunday we just played our clip. Matt had a chance to talk to Iowa. The stuff happened. With Angel Reese and Clark. It looked like it was there. These are two competitive ladies. You probably did the same thing when you played. Sports. You want to beat the other person. You might taunt them a little bit. Did you like what Angel Reese said? Doing that. What's your take on it? I feel like coming from my neck of the woods here in Maryland, and you probably see it as a different way. I felt like she was basically making us look bad in the state of Maryland, the way she was acting. But I understand she's a competitor, and I understand that. Competitors like myself, I would have done the same thing. But where's your take on it? I felt like, it was kind of a lot of disrespecting on both sides.
I mean, first and foremost, people need to start giving some credit to my favorite wrestler, John Cena, because he's the one that did that. But, you can't see me came from John. By the way, man, awesome question. And great that you got to talk to Iowa. I think that's fantastic. So I want to shout you out for that. That's really cool. And you need to put that in your pocket, keep it forever, because that's going to be a timeless capsule. I mean, you're looking at a great center for Iowa, and then you're looking at arguably one of the best women's basketball players to ever play the game, one of the best basketball players to play college, man or woman. And on top of that, probably going to be a WNBA stud for a decade. So you need to hold on to that.
Yeah.
Hold on to that for a long time. So
Dave, well, I just really feel, well, not to interrupt you, but I just feel honored that I was called upon to go ahead and ask both of those ladies a question. I mean, I'm just really glad I was given the opportunity, because just like what you said, I mean, that was just an amazing moment. I got to ask the question, and it was just amazing. But you can continue. Didn't mean to interrupt, though.
No. I mean, listen, you deserve credit for that, man. It's good stuff. So, I believe that you should tell people when they do an awesome job. And I don't know why in the world of media we can't congratulate people more. I don't know why everybody's trying to bite each other's stuff. But, I think it's time for people to, say good job when you do a good job and stop having egos. Egos don't belong in the room. When you put an ego in the room, you might have 3 people in the room, but the room balloons like 300 people. Egos are way too big. We need to spend more time together, less time with the giant balloons of egos.
Yeah.
So,
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I agree with you. Hey, Dan, you and I during this whole tournament, we were texting each other back and forth. Good question, dude. And to me, I have a lot of respect for you. And I know when you're on the call this year for these Zoom things, I'm like, all right, Dan got my question. What am I going to do here? Like let's do a better job, because I know we're all competitors in one shape or form. Because we played sports, and you played sports, I played sports, Matt played sports, Adam played sports. But in the long run, we're all friends, and we all enjoy helping each other. And like the other day, I called you, and I thought I saw something on YouTube that looked like it was yours. That's somebody took, and I was like, hey, I'm looking after for you. And you probably would have done the same thing for me if you saw something that somebody took.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I appreciate it. I appreciate the work that you've done over the years too, Chris, and everybody on this, on this video. So, I appreciate you letting me be here. So I would say that, because there's not a lot of shows that I'm going to stay up, after doing a bunch of shows all day long and want to be on it. But this is one that I appreciate being on this one. So, I would say that. And I mean, getting on the call, I'm honored. I'm honored that they let me do that. I think it's pretty interesting and unique that, here we are, Syracuse isn't in the tournament this year, and this is the most work I've ever done in the tournament, over 30 interviews, every piece of this country, coast to coast. I mean, you look at the homepage of wakeupcalldt.com, and I'm looking at these coaches saying, like, who talked to these people? So, I mean, it's a blessing. It's an honor. Gonzaga's finally happened on my bucket list. And, getting to talk to Miami in the Final Four means a lot, because I was in Houston in 2016 doing interviews with Syracuse and all them. So, it means a lot to me. So with that being said, to get to your question about the women's game, listen, I said on the show today, this is what we need to know about the tournament, because there was something really wrong about the tournament, and I'm going to get into it in a second. It had nothing to do with the players and had nothing to do with the coaches. But Angel Reese had 34 double-doubles this season. Nobody's ever done that, okay?
Right.
Who's talking about that? Caitlin Clark had 8 3-pointers in the championship game. Nobody's done that. Who's talking about that? Caitlin Clark had back-to-back 40-point games in the postseason. Nobody's done that. Who's talking about that? She passed 180 points in the postseason. Some people don't have 180 points in 4 seasons.
Right.
Who's talking about that? Yeah. Iowa makes it to the tournament championship. Never done it before. Who's talking about that? LSU's coach, what Kim Mulkey has done. 4 championships behind only Pat Summitt and Gino Auriemma. Pat Summitt's 8, Gino Auriemma's 11. Who's talking about that? And the fact that she's done it with multiple different teams. LSU had never won a championship before in women's basketball or made it to the championship game. Who's talking about that? There's so much history to talk about that I don't give a rat's. You know what? about this other stuff. Listen, they did this, okay? I'm going to tell you something. If Angel Reese or Caitlin Clark, if I was a female playing the game and either one of them did that to me, they would have to run out the gym. Because if you're going to get in my face when I'm losing a championship, I'm going to lose it. So, you know, I think in the moment, especially if someone's trash talking you, right? We don't know the whispers. We don't know if Angel's going by going, yeah, I just hit that J. And then Caitlin's going, yeah, watch this. I don't know if that's going on. But I'll be clear with you. In the moment, I think a lot of people would have done this or would have done this. And then 20 minutes later, my parents would have called me and said, hey, when you go to that press conference room, you apologize because you don't embarrass your family.
Right.
You don't do that to somebody. Just because you won doesn't mean that you have the right to do that. So is Angel Reese right for doing that? No. Is Caitlin Clark right for doing that? No. But at the same time, they're competitors. And if Magic Johnson did it to Jordan, nobody would say anything. Nobody says it when the men do this. Nobody says it when the men do that. Nobody says it when the men look at each other and stick their tongue. Nobody says anything. Nobody says anything. Okay? It's women saying it. That's the problem. It's women saying it. Because people have a problem with women doing that, because people have a problem with women's sports being out there for whatever reason. Okay. What I do what Angel did or what I do what Caitlin did, no. To me, it has nothing to do with race. It has nothing to do with this, nothing to do with that with me. What it has to do with me is as simple. In the moment, be prideful if you want to be, but lock it up. Okay. You have every right to celebrate with your team. But I was taught as a young child, when you have something good, I've won a championship. Not like that, but I've won a basketball championship. Not on that scale, not in front of 19,000 people, but I've won a championship before. I've won a championship, and I was the MVP of the playoffs. And I will tell you, I celebrated with my team. I internally said, I guess you're better than they said you were. But I didn't blow kisses. I didn't spit. I didn't wave. I didn't point to this. I didn't hold up my trophy in somebody's face. I didn't do any of that. So all I can say is I understand them in the moment. I don't think it needed to be done. But let's face it, if these were two men doing it, people wouldn't be talking about it on SportsCenter. And so I don't think it's fair to the ladies' game that's already disrespected. But I'm going to tell you the biggest problem with the women's game. The biggest problem with the women's game has nothing to do with coaches, players, or any team or institution. The biggest problem with the women's national championship game is that some idiot at a station made the stupid, moronic, and disrespectful, in my opinion, sexist decision of putting that game on, a championship, at 3:30 in the afternoon when they put the men on at 9:20. Why? What do they tell you every time? The men are on at 9:20 because of the West Coast. The West Coast is 3 hours earlier. We got to have the men at 9:20 so that everybody can get home at 6:20 on the West Coast. Well, on the West Coast, that championship game for the women was played at 12:30. You're at church. You're at brunch. You're not even awake yet. You're playing a championship game at 12:30. Why? Because ESPN had to play the third game of a 162 game season of some team that's not going to matter right now at all. You had to put a baseball game on in game 3 instead of a championship game, and you play that championship game 5 hours earlier. Let me tell you something. ESPN, I respect. I've worked at a lot of ESPN affiliates, so I'm going to ask you this to the screen and ask you to make this right. The World Series is played in November. The women's basketball season starts in November. They're playing games 1, 2, and 3 at the time of their season. So what I want you to do to make it right, I want you to play a World Series game at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and I want you to put the women's third game of the Iowa season when the team's 2-0. I want you to put them on at 8 o'clock.
Yeah, playing against like
at that time is disrespectful. It's wrong. I watched it. I loved it. Millions of people watched it, but I don't know what jerk and imbecile made that decision for women's basketball. They should be ashamed of themselves. That was wrong. And I would say that about any network anywhere in the world. You put women on at 3:30 so you could put a dumb, meaningless baseball game on when the season started a couple days ago.
Right.
There's no reason why West Coast saw that game at 12:30. I think that the women are owed an apology by ESPN. And you know what? It's fitting because their contract's up right now, and ESPN better do it right, or I hope that the women go somewhere else.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like for me, it's like, I like it when national semifinals are on in prime time. I mean, why can't you have the national championship game in prime time? 8 o'clock, ESPN. You have, I know you had the most people watch the national championship game at 3:30, but it's like, I like it when it's in prime time. The national spotlight. You don't have it on 3:30. You have it on 8 p.m. It's called, you can watch the game, during dinner time. Everybody's home, and it's like, it's perfect time. 8 p.m. Eastern, or even 7 p.m. Eastern.
Right.
I mean,
What did Dawn say? What did Dawn Staley say last year when they had her at the ESPN post game thing? She's sitting there. What did she say?
I know where you're going, Dan.
What did she say? She said it's about damn time. That's what.
Thank you.
That's what she.
Yep.
You remember? I remember growing up as a kid. The women's tournament wasn't shown on TV until the championship. They didn't show any of the games. They showed none of the games. People that think that Caitlin Clark is a good basketball player in the last 3 weeks are ignorant.
Thank you. She's been impressive all year long.
Yeah. Oh, Caitlin Clark, she's pretty good. Yeah. Well, I mean, I wish we could have saw the games.
Right.
I wish.
I know.
I wish. But I mean, seriously, I remember opening up the newspaper and they didn't even have the scores of the women's game. I remember trying to find the bracket in the newspaper for the women's tournament because nobody cared. Nobody cared. And I got to a point where I said, why are they even playing? Nobody's showing the games. Nobody's giving the scores. Nobody's putting the bracket out there. I mean, these women are playing for national championships and the media was quiet.
Right.
And people say, well, what do you think? I don't know. I've covered women's sports since 2003 when I started. And I told them at Marywood University, I'm not doing the basketball games unless we do both. I'm not going to do the men's game at 7 o'clock when the women play at 5. I'm going to show up here and set up at 6 o'clock while they're playing and be like, oh, yeah, you're not important enough for me to do the game for, but we're going to set up in front of your face. No, we do the women's and men's games. I've been covering women's athletics since I began my career in 2003 at 17, 18 years old.
Wow.
So the reality of it all is, welcome, America. Happy that you came to the party. I've been doing this thing for almost 20 years. In the last 3 years, you started to care about women's athletics. That's nice. I appreciate that. But people said, how do you get women to listen to your show? I said, you cover their sports and you respect them. It's not that hard. It's not that hard.
I mean, when I was in high school, when I was in high school here in North Carolina, I was the manager of the varsity softball team my junior and senior year, thanks to that, it's called I started watching women's college softball, and I always enjoy watching the Women's College World Series. I always enjoy watching the regionals, the super regionals, to see, and it's like, look where women's sports is now. It's like, you never would have thought you would see the Women's College World Series in prime time on ESPN, to a national audience. I mean, every single regional, women's college softball is televised either online, because either televised or they're being shown online. And I think that's a pretty cool thing. Getting all these ladies, out there, to show their skills. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
What's so Dan? You already mentioned a couple things with how to increase the viewership of the women's sports, but what are some other ways or strategies that they can increase viewership or interest?
Yeah, I mean, I listen, the talent's there. So, I think life is cyclical, positively or negatively, depending on what you're doing. And, the cycle of nobody cares about women's sports. So when somebody makes that opinion and people agree, right? So you go in, there's a bunch of execs sitting at the table and they say the women's game doesn't matter. So they say the women's game doesn't matter. So then they don't put it on TV. So then the people don't see it on TV. So they don't watch it and they don't know anything about it. They don't know the information. So then they think it doesn't matter because it's not on TV, which proves that first conversation, right, that it doesn't matter and it's cyclical. So how do you change it? You put it on television. It's been proven over the last 2 years that if you build it, they will come. They filled out in the stadium in Dallas this weekend. I think it was 19,482 tickets sold.
Yep, that's right.
I have been to Sweet 16s and Elite 8s, many of them. Those stadiums fill out for the men at 19,000 whatever. So when they say we got 19,000 plus, they're selling that place out.
Wow.
So to me, you got to sell out. You got millions of viewers. You got people at 3:30 watching this game. You put that game on at 8 o'clock at night. So what do we do to change it? Well, those are the things you have to do. The talent's already there.
Yeah,
the talent is there. The coaches are there. And what can they do? I mean, listen, if the networks don't want to give them the credit that they deserve, it's hard to put it out there. But what I would say to any one of these programs around the country, if you want to get your story out there, you want to get your message out there, we have dealt with plenty of schools. I was texting a lot of coaches that I know during these games. If any women's athletic program feels underestimated, underappreciated, no spotlight, and underutilized, you can come to Wake Up Call. We'll put you on the show. We got a lot of outlets. We got a lot of people. We got a lot of love. I mean, I just came from doing high school girls lacrosse.
Right.
So, I mean, you're asking me, how do we make it better? I'm trying to make it better.
They
should have done was switch it with the tell the Rangers playing at 3:30 on ESPN and put the game at 7 o'clock.
Who cares? Who cares?
Yeah. Who cares?
I don't even know who the Rangers played because I
they
don't
had
care.
K-Ride cast. I'm like, who cares about K-Ride cast?
I don't care. And if I'm the Rangers, I would rather play at 3:30. I don't care. It doesn't matter. It's game 3. Who the hell cares? Nobody cares. I'm a Diamondbacks fan. I know for a fact if we go in the first half of the season 75-6, it doesn't mean anything. They won't be in the playoffs in the second half. The reality of it all is there's 162 games. You have 162. You have 30 teams and 162 games to play. You have thousands upon thousands of times to show it. There is nothing on television that deserved to be on TV more that night than the women's national championship game. I don't care what anybody says. I will fight anybody on it because I came home. I busted my tail. I went and found the best place that has queso in Syracuse, Salt City Kitchen and Catering. They were closed that day. I said, I want some queso. That stinks you're closed. The owner said, come in. Made me queso while they were closed. Went home, sat with my queso and chips, watched this game, texted my people, had a good dang time. But I'll tell you one thing, when that game ended, I had 2 more hours of sunlight in Syracuse. There's something wrong with that. So, I mean, what do we do to change it? You get a better TV deal, right? Because now you have the viewership. Now you have something to argue about now. The talent is there. The coaching is there, like I said. The schools are great. The coaching is great. The pedigrees are great. The recruiting's great. When they say, oh, the game's not the same, I would rather watch Caitlin Clark shoot a 3 more than most anybody.
Same here.
Right.
Same here.
So to me, what do? We put a spotlight on it. And like I said, I've been putting a spotlight on it for almost 20 years.
Right.
So Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, whoever, you want to get out there, you want to sit, you want to Zoom, you want me to fly out to LSU, you want me to go to Iowa, I'll tell your story. Because the only thing that's wrong right now is there's not enough people fighting for women's athletics.
Right.
It's nothing the women are doing wrong. It's everything that the networks are doing wrong. And until they start respecting women, people are going to continue to think the game is not as important. I thought the women's game was too early and the men's game was too late. They both should have been at 8 o'clock. They both should have been at 8 o'clock. What was on? The Bachelor? What was on?
I was like 9:20 Eastern. It's called, a lot of people have to get up in the morning and go to work. It's called, you have kids wanting to go to school. And it's like 8 o'clock is a perfect time for a national championship game. Was called.
My dad said the same thing that I said. I said, I called him thinking exactly before he said it. He said, Daniel, I will be in bed by halftime.
Same thing as my father. My father was like, don't care.
Because halftime was 10:30.
Yeah.
My mom said, I hope the game's good. I'm not watching it. My mom has to work at 4 in the morning. So, I stayed up and watched it because I love basketball and I'll probably watch it again. But
I'll watch it again.
But I will tell you this right now. That game between Iowa and LSU and the Final Four games before that, and I'm sure people will say games before that. Let me tell you something about this. That wasn't good women's basketball. That was great basketball. That was great basketball, period. That championship game was one of the best championship games I've seen of basketball, not women, not men, of basketball in a long time. It was a better championship game than UConn versus San Diego State.
Right.
Yeah.
And and the thing is, I believe, or don't hold me on one of these numbers, but I think I heard that, and I think that this was for the women's Final Four. They had over 6 million viewers watch one of those games. And again, my numbers could be off on that, but I mean that just shows you that more people are watching and stuff and everything. And yeah, I mean, more people do need to be interested because that Final Four, and that championship game, they were one heck of of games. I mean, there was definitely competitive games there.
Yeah.
Yeah, the games are fantastic.
Exactly. That's true. Well, we gotta wrap it up, but before we go, I gotta have Dan critique something. Here's my cornhole performance with Jameis Winston. I want to put this on here, so I want to see what you think about this technique here. Got it.
Yeah, man, listen, I don't think it matters what your technique was. I think now I go a little bit higher.
Yeah.
I go a little bit higher. So, but I would tell you played cornhole with famous Jameis.
Yeah.
You played cornhole with the Crab Leg King.
Right.
I mean, to me, love you, Jameis. But to me, no, I like Jameis. Listen. I did do something down in Florida in Tallahassee. Jameis, I hope you're watching. Please don't be offended. It's comedy, and I hope that you like it. I went into the Publix that he didn't pay for crab legs in. And I came out with Coke Zero, and I took a picture in front of Publix with a 6-pack of Coke Zero, and I said, Jameis and I walked into this Publix. One of us bought something. Do you know who it was?
At least you supported where I worked at. It's kind of, even though it was in Florida. I was like,
listen, I'm trying to offset the cost of the crab legs for Publix. I'm trying to even it out. You know what I mean? But I like Jameis. Listen, Jameis has a 90% completion percentage if you include the other teams that he's thrown to.
Exactly.
So this is all joke. I like Jameis Winston. I've covered FSU. I'm happy for him. I want to see him do well. We do a funny thing on Thursdays with Papa Joe about Jameis because he loves talking about Jameis. But listen. This one I want to know before I go.
Yeah.
How the hell did this happen? How did you see? I'm feisty tonight. I don't know if you guys could tell.
Well, yes, I can tell.
You're feisty.
All right, let's go, buddy.
I don't know if there's vodka in the Gatorade. I don't know, but so
it's a family show, everybody. It's a family. Yeah, OJ.
Listen, I can say what I want to say. This isn't right? Is this
just coming out of Dane's mouth?
Say what I want. No, but I'm just kidding. But no, tell me about how this happened.
Okay. The NFL has this thing called the Ed Black Courage Awards, and and every year they have, let's say, Dan, you play for Jacksonville and you get hurt and you don't play the rest of the season, and you come back next year and you're like the greatest quarterback, and you sort of like 3,000 yards, whatever, Trevor Lawrence type numbers. Well, your team nominates you as a Courage Award winner because your courage to come back from injury, to show how you could actually come back and become successful. Well, they have all these teams, the representatives from all these teams.
Yeah.
We had the Falcons, we had the Jets, we had the Bears, we had the Travis Etienne was there as well for the folks from Jacksonville, and he was playing a video game, playing Madden 23, 2023, playing himself. That's pretty funny. I was laughing. I was like, that's hilarious. Are you yelling at
myself too? I used to create myself as the quarterback of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah. So they have everybody there, and they get a nice little statue. It's made out of their replica of their helmet. It's like silver, and they started doing this cocktail thing a couple of years ago because of COVID. Because I thought, before that it was more like a formal dinner. You had people wear shirts, tuxedos, and they walk in and they give off the. Well, they realized that doesn't work anymore, so they did a cocktail thing. And Matt and I both agreed that was more access to the players I ever had. Like Jameis looked at me and I introduced myself and I told him, I have a podcast here in Baltimore. I covered you at the ACC kickoff and all that stuff. And he was like, "Oh, cool, yeah. I remember that." And so I remember the Duke game when you blew out Duke in the ACC title game down in Charlotte. I was there for that one. And he's like, "Yeah, I remember that game. That was great." And then I said, "Can I interview him?" And they were so approachable to the point I was like, "Okay, that's cool." So I saw him later in the evening. I said, "Hey, Jameis, can I talk to you real quick? Do this interview." He's like, "Yeah, follow me." And he goes, "Do you want to play cornhole?" I'm like, "Okay, I'll play cornhole." I'm like, "All right." And I'm thinking myself going, "This is cool." My nerves were, and I was so excited because I think it was pretty cool that I was playing with a Heisman Trophy winner. I think I threw a couple of them high and tight. Looked like I was trying not to hit anybody. But my aim was so bad. It was terrible that evening because I was so jabbed up and I was like, "Wow, I'm playing." And I text my brother later. I go, "I played with Jameis in cornhole." My brother goes, "Shut up." I was like, "Yeah, I did." So I sent him the video. He goes, "Not bad, dude. That's awesome." And then after he went over to talk to somebody, Matt and I sat down for a good 5 minutes with him talking about his career at Florida State, and I started joking him about the Notre Dame penalty that he did against Florida State, and those two are going at you. I have it on YouTube if you want to watch it. Those two are funny going at it. And James goes, "Yeah, that was a penalty." He goes, "No, it wasn't." And Matt goes, and "Yeah, it wasn't a penalty." And James goes, "Yes, it was a penalty." It was funny back and forth. But good fight. We spent 5 minutes with the guy.
Yeah.
For a photograph, and I have a photograph and and an interview that's going to cherish forever. And I'm thinking I don't think I'll ever have an opportunity to do that again.
Yeah, listen, that's what I said before. When you get these opportunities, you take them. I don't believe in coincidences. I call them God incidences, and I believe that people are put in your path for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
I just want Jameis to know if he has any problems with anything that was said here tonight, then you should consult Stan Dortora, not me. So, that guy Stan said it, not Dan. Get it right. But
Dan's evil twin said it. Yeah.
Yeah. What'd you say?
Dan's evil twin said it. Yeah.
Bizarro world me. But
that's true. That's true.
No, but I'm just kidding. I like Jameis. I'm happy for Jameis, and Jameis has had himself a career, and I started watching FSU when he was there. So, right. I give him credit for why, I started paying attention back in the day. So,
and he still loves Jimbo. Him and Jimbo, Fisher. Jimbo calls him every week during the football season to see how he's doing.
Yeah,
and that's great. His coach from college still makes a phone call and see how he's doing.
Yeah, because
Dan,
awesome.
Well, yeah, Dan. The thing was that we were having a conversation, we were just. It was after a football game and we were just talking. We were talking about, just the Notre Dame game when he was a quarterback and stuff and everything. And so he was a quarterback for Florida State and with that Notre Dame game. So we were just having a good conversation. And then we finally got into, I asked him a few questions and everything. But it was just great. And then Chris got to play the cornhole, and it doesn't matter if Chris might have thrown it almost out of the ballpark or whatever. But the point is, it's the memories and the moments.
Yep.
It was the memories and the moments that Chris got to create, because that's one of his favorite players. And he's a huge Florida State fan. And I like Florida State as well. And I got to talk to Jameis. I got to go ahead and have a conversation with him, plus ask him a couple questions. So it was great. And Dan, at that same time, it was the end into the FAU versus San Diego State game, and that was when San Diego State, FAU missed the shot, and then San Diego State drove down the court, and then they shot the winning bucket. And well, let's just say that people and media and players were going. What they were celebrating. They were celebrating when San Diego State went ahead and hit the winning bucket. But it was definitely it was definitely a great experience. And yeah, so there is one shout out or something that I do want to mention before we do get off the air, which will probably be in a couple minutes.
Yeah, we gotta get
So there is a couple of things I want to mention. First of all, there was the U.S. Women's Amateur at Augusta National where that happened, and Jenny Bay played in a playoff against Rose Zhang, and Rose Zhang won. So congrats to Rose Zhang for winning in a playoff in the U.S. Women's Amateur. And as we all know, the practice started on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. The players coming in for Augusta National to be playing in Augusta, Georgia, and this is for you golf fans, for those fans, listeners that listen to our golf. This is, I would probably say, one of the best, if not the best, time of the year for golf fans. With Augusta National players coming in the whole week and everything, and having the pimento cheese sandwiches if you're lucky to get on there and go to the Masters and everything. But this is an unbelievable week, and hats off to Jim Nance with him retiring with college basketball. And but I'm happy that he's still going to be as an announcer and still going to be with the Masters at Augusta National. He'll still be the voice of that. So I just want to mention those couple of things before we do go off the air. So everyone, make sure you do watch the Masters, which I know if all you are golf fans, I know you guys will. So.
All right, Dan, thanks so much for coming on, and we appreciate that. Yep, we got it. That's awesome. All right, buddy. Thanks
for coming on again.
Yes, thanks, Dan.
Thanks, y'all. Have a good night. Cherish your memories, people.
Yes.
Yes, definitely.
Yes, exactly. See you, bud.
Take care.
See you. All right, we're over.
Well, and guys, just cherish. And I just want to touch on something that Dane just said. Life is too short. Cherish the memories and moments that you all have. Like Dane has had his moments. Adam, you've had yours. Yep. Me and Chris, we've had ours. We all on this broadcast have had special moments. So cherish the moments you've had. When you have those special moments, be in the moment. Cherish it. Don't take it for granted, because you just never know if you may never get that moment again, and life is too short. So just cherish the times and the special things that you are able to get. So live in the moment, cherish the moment, and be grateful and humble for life.
Exactly. Well, let's roll out of here, and thanks for everybody for joining us tonight. And in the meantime, we're going to play this real quick. It's going to be part of this. Hopefully we can get this thing. Oh, we got to delete something here. We'll play this real quick because the meter is up, and I might be getting a ticket for the over the playing field, because I'm getting the looks of we're going to be. But we'll join us next Tuesday at 7:30. We'll finish up some. We'll play some of that Ed Black Courage Award stuff next week. And then we'll do other stuff. In the meantime, it is Parkinson's Awareness Month. So if you have a family member who has Parkinson's or anything, please take care of it. And here's a little, clip from Neil Diamond, who has Parkinson's, and show you folks what Parkinson's is. So until then, I'm Chris Heidel. That's Adam Rise, and that's Matt Cecchinelli. Thanks for Dan Tour to join us, and Wade Phillips for joining us as well tonight. So in the meantime, have a great night. Here is a little clip from CBS Sunday Morning.
I am. Was there a moment in that process where you finally sort of did say to yourself, I accept this?
I think this has just been in the last few weeks.
Really?
But somehow a calm has moved in the hurricane of my life, and things have gotten very quiet. As quiet as this recording studio.
Yeah.
And I like it. I find that I like myself better. I'm easier on